What's up? It's the Zero Game Club back again. I finally said it right for once. The Zero Game Club. And, this is gonna be.
Double up on pants. I don't like
Oh,
this.
God, come on now. Can we go to my channel, please? This is gonna be quite a stream. I'm gonna try and. I'm gonna be pretty real, I feel like. I don't know how real I'm gonna get, but I've got a lot to say right now, you know? I'm not, I'm not doing great at the moment. And if you've, been around the past couple of days here, you might know why, I guess. But it's not just that. It's everything, you know? I mean, I'm out here trying my best, I really am. It's not easy to be me. It's not easy to be anybody, really. And I know I'm fortunate in a lot of ways and whatnot. Hopefully this has got to come on, right? Please, come on. Okay, good. Yeah, I know I'm fortunate in a lot of ways, and this is like a first world problem kind of thing, but sometimes I really wonder if we are the first world, or like, are we just savages, we just don't respect anybody. Is there anybody left that respects anybody? You know what I mean? There absolutely are lots of people who do, and I'm blessed to have a lot of those people in my life, but I don't know, just the past couple of days have been rough, especially. I've just been really absorbed in all of this news and whatnot that's happening, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse, The first day, they just, not that I'm non-binary myself, obviously I'm like a trans woman kind of thing, that's what we're going for here. If you've watched my channel, you know this. I made an update video about this a long time ago. By the way, hopefully we're beating Nemesis today. If we beat Nemesis, that would make me somewhat happy. I don't know why I'm making this. Maybe I won't upload this or something, or I'll just keep it off of the record kind of thing. I mean, obviously I'm online right now, but nobody's going to tune in anyway. Nobody ever tunes in, right? So, but yeah. So, I don't know. This whole week's been rough, for this, weekend here. I feel like ever since, I had this existential dread about this a little bit, back when all of this kind of started, with the... Did I save after? Okay, yeah. So we are here. Okay, so yeah, all I have to do is fight Nemesis, yeah. After the whole Trump thing, yeah, this is gonna get a little political, obviously, with the whole, but it's very tied into my identity. I'll be real, I hate politics. I fucking hate politics, because all it does is turn people against each other, makes people feral and savage, and, it's just bad for everyone. It just is. It's like religion, and I have a religion, I'm Christian or Catholic or whatever, I don't know, somewhere in there. I believe in a lot of their values, but I believe in a lot of values for a lot of things, so I don't just limit myself to one thing, and I think that's really important for me and me being religious. Alright, it's 2. And then we run. So, oh my god, and he got me again. Oh, bastard. Oh, fuck. Yeah, this isn't gonna go well. So, that, and just being a trans woman in this, very Republican-heavy, I don't even have a problem with Republicans especially, but it's just, the rhetoric that they have, I think. This is the most political I'll ever, talk about, probably publicly, but... I don't know, even my dad and my brother my dad at least is supportive, and I don't know. My brother's probably getting there somehow. You know, he's making his own way to it, kind of thing. Which I don't even know about that, because he still misgenders me all the time, and doesn't use my old name anymore, which is progress, I guess. And I'm happy about that. Obviously, it's just it still shows that he doesn't respect me or my identity, or doesn't want to try hard enough to. And in the past, he's been very vocal about, you know, hating on trans people and stuff. And even still, to this day, I'll find little things in videos that he shows me. He still watches all these channels that, like, definitely are very transphobic, you know, so I think he's gotten better, but I mean, I don't know. It's just rough. It's just rough because like, you know, and then we live together kind of thing. Like, it's just like we live in a duplex together or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's a bit too personal there, I guess. But anyway, my point being, it's some bad times right now, you know. I'm just in the midst of it. I've just been in my head about it all the past couple of days. I've been trying to distract myself with stuff like this Resident Evil stuff. You know, I streamed the past 2 days. We made a lot of progress. It's been good, you know, and I've been really happy about that. But I just finished up watching all the Marvel movies today with, like, Endgame or whatever. I mean, I'm gonna watch the other 2 Spider-Man ones, but then that's gonna be the end of my little Marvel journey here. And that was good. It was very, very good. Very good ending. Endgame is awesome. It's like one of my favorite Marvel movies. But I mean, I'm just sitting here, and it's like, I know I've got allies all around me, but I still feel so alone for some reason, you know? And maybe this isn't the platform to really be talking about this on, but, like, nobody's watching anyway, so, like, I just figured I need to get it out. I need to talk as if somebody's listening, you know, kind of thing. And I know that's kind of pathetic in a sense. Damn it, I should have healed there. That would have been good. But, you know, I just gotta get it out there, because it's just bugging me. It's clouding up my head. I hate shit like this. I just hate the fact that these politics are so ingrained now. They've basically, like, eradicated non-binary people from, like, existing. I mean, you know, like, I don't want to say they didn't before. Like, obviously non-binary people are a real thing, like, legally existing, I suppose. But then it wasn't just that. If you, like, read into it, it's not just non-binary people. They want to make it so that people can't change anything. They can't change, like, their gender or the sex marker or whatever on the, like, birth certificate. This thing I've been trying to do that I'm at the end of the fucking process of, and they're trying to make that not be a thing. I don't know, maybe it's not a thing anymore. So now that I've got this thing finally nearly ready to go, it'll be too late, you know, and that'll be my luck, right? That'd be my lot in life. And so that's one thing I'm definitely fucking angry about, because, like, I've been working on this for so long, since, like, summer, you know? It's been, like, a whole fucking process. And, like, they can't really prevent me from, like, changing my name, so if worst comes to worst, if I have to just do that and, like, separate it from the gender stuff, like, it is what it is, and I'll just, I don't know, live with that, I guess, even though it's, like, it's really shitty that this is a thing, you know? I feel bad for, like, just everyone who's even in any similar situation to me, or, you know, this isn't just like something that I decided one day or something. It's just, you know, it's something that's been here the whole time and inside of me. And then as soon as, like, I did something about it, you know, I transitioned and all that, and then I felt a lot better, and then, you know, oh fuck. Yeah, right there I should have healed. See, I always see it after the fact. Hindsight is 20/20, right? Man, man, did I not know how good I had it the past 4 years of. But I didn't know the past 4 years. I've only really known since 2022, and that was like late 2022. Maybe like October or something. I don't know, maybe it was like mid 2022. So, it's a few years, right? And then I came out and everything like 2 years ago in October, I believe. It's like a year after that. And I started getting all my HRT and stuff like I think late December, right, of 2022. Not that you would know. I'm just saying right as like a word in a sentence. It's just not supposed to mean like, oh, right, like, but like, yeah. So it's been like 2 years now, officially. But yeah, now it's just really got me very depressed, all this stuff, and I don't feel like super depressed like I used to, like before I transitioned. That's the whole reason, like, not the whole reason, but like a good amount of a reason why I did this to begin with, like why I decided like I need to do something about this is because I was entirely depressed like back then. And I'll admit some of this is probably because it's January and there's like the seasonal, kind of depression thing. Because January always sucks. But like, and I'm not like to a point of like being suicidal or anything. Like, I've been there in the past, but like, that's not me anymore, and not necessarily that I was ever really going to do anything about it in the past, but like, you get those thoughts sometimes, I guess, and I've been low in the past, and I was doing pretty good before the last couple of months here, and now everything's just kind of even like last month, even when I like, I don't know, I was being optimistic. I thought maybe it wouldn't be so bad, and then like day one it gets, oh fuck, I already, damn it, oh my god, day one it gets bad, like, so, oh, fuck, come on, dude, asshole. Yeah, I'm dead, phone. So yeah, all of that just really kind of sucks, and I just, I don't know what to do, about any of this. Give me a second. I've got to get some water. Thought I had one here somewhere. Because officially nothing can be done about it, really. I just have to kind of wait out these next 4 years, right? That's what can be done about it, is surviving. And it kind of feels like, and I know that I'm walking on thin ice here, but it kind of feels like COVID, like, how that kind of ruined our plans for like a year or two there, and everything kind of went sideways. That's what it kind of feels like all over again. So, yeah, like, that's where I'm at, like, with things, is just everything's going sideways again, and I'm kind of feeling a little bit of that, the bad vibes from that. And I want things to get better, but I don't know how they can. I know there's lots of people who support me out there, but like, like most of my family, like all of my friends, and just like everyone pretty much in my life, but it's just like on a grander scale. I know there's people out there fighting to take away rights for me. And then there's like the HRT aspect of it. It's like, so I got an HRT like a couple of years ago, like I said, and then like a week later, like most of my depression and brain fog like disappeared. And I think it's so sad that other people won't get the opportunity to feel as like, I don't know, euphoric or like just feel that weight lifting like I did, you know, and the fact that like medically I need this stuff now, like, you know, it's only gonna get a lot worse if I don't have it, you know. And I think I've got a pretty good provider who can probably help me through a lot of this, but I don't know how crazy it's gonna get. I assume it's only gonna get crazier. I mean, the guy on day freaking 1 has already basically tried to invalidate my entire existence. How the fuck did I do that? Holy shit. Did you guys see that? That was incredible. Invalidate my entire, like, fucking existence. Alright, I'm totally dead now. Oh my god, come on, please, 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 please. No! Fuck! This is so good! That was a good run! God damn it. Invalidate my entire existence, this guy, you know. And it's only gonna be worse, you know, from here. He's gonna next probably go after gay people and, I don't know, abortion and stuff again, like before. Like, it's just gonna be terrible. It's like, how is this guy so freaking, like, evil? He is the Resident Evil, you know? He's the President Evil. But no, for real, like, I don't know, man. Like, what is this guy's problem with me specifically? And he's old, is what it is. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. He's old, and he's with the old ways. I used to be there too. I mean, it wasn't quite as bad as him, obviously, but like, I used to, I don't know, be transphobic. I didn't really understand it. Homophobic even. And, you know, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work and perspective to get to this point, and a lot of people don't want to work on that or do that within themselves, and I totally get it. It's hard to work on, but that's why we have to do it. That's why we have to do that work, because it is so hard to do, and we need to have that perspective. This is why I think everyone should play The Last of Us 2, and I don't want to spoil that too much, but the game is all about perspective, you know? And The Last of Us 1 was great, obviously, and then playing The Last of Us 2 is really hard to play, because you don't want to play as the other character, and you have to anyway in order to, you know, get through the game, and doing that gives you a good representation of perspective that a lot of people in this world freaking need right now, you know? Wait, is this... the fuck? I'm hitting... Okay, yeah. Alright. A lot of people need this, is my point, and I just think would be really important for people to have that perspective. Would be good. Hold on, I have to really focus here. Yeah, no, okay, of course not. I might have a chance. Yeah. Oh, come on. Yes! He's like sidewalking. I might have a chance at this. Oh my gosh. Yes! Come on, really, dude? Come on! I was hitting the dodge. What the fuck? Oh my god, now he's got me. This little bastard. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Ah! Ah! Oh! He's down! Holy shit, he fell down! I've never seen that happen yet. Oh my god, no wait, what? Why is this not, like, working? No! Okay, I really have to focus now, because he fell. Come on, no, don't kill me! Oh my god, yeah, I'm dead. I'm so fucking dead. That was a good run, though. He actually fell down! Does that mean something? Is that significant? Is that supposed to happen? So despite, like, everything, I feel scared, you know? I feel alone. I know I'm not alone, but, like, I feel that way, you know? I don't know, I just feel isolated and, you know, not at ease at all. Like, I get it. I've got a cushy life in a sense, you know. I have a job and money and, I mean, some money. I still have some debts, but, you know, food on the table, you know, warmth and shelter and video games and whatever. That's all really nice. It's just, I don't think we should be, like, destroying each other's freedoms or like, just destroying the fact that, like, we're all people here, you know? I think that's important and significant, you know, that, like, they want to treat us like we're, like, not human, you know? And I don't appreciate that as a human being and as a trans person, I guess, you know, like, I mean, I'm not guessing at that, I'm, like, that's what I'm saying, is, like, we're human, you know? We're here, we're not going anywhere, and yet they still want to just yell at us like we did something wrong, you know? Like this wasn't just innately, you know, a part of us, like, you know, and I just question humanity, those parts of humanity, in a sense. I just wonder if, you know, if there's any hope for humanity, basically. Oh my god, he's got me. Come on, get up, Jill. Get up! Get up, Jill! Get up! He's sidewalking! He's sidewalking! Come on, Jill! You've got this, baby. Get up, Jill. Get up! This is, like, so tense. I got him again! This is actually, like, going pretty well. Maybe I needed to air my grievances, like, a lot sooner. Get up, bitch, get up! Get up! Oh, fuck. Alright. Yeah, so that part of humanity is really disappointing to me. I don't know if y'all seen, like, Smallville, but, like, you know, you've got that Pa Kent, like, energy where he's just, no matter what, he's just, like, a pure person. I know this is a fictional character in something, but that's how, like, I want to be, you know, and I don't know, I relate to that too, because it's, like, Midwestern, you know, small town values or whatever, and it's like, that used to be a thing, and now it doesn't, like, really feel like that's a thing anymore. You know, like, this cozy sense of community where everyone is, like, cool to each other or whatever. You know, I mean, maybe that was never actually a thing, but it seemed like it was at some point, you know, and just, that's what's disappointing to me, is that stuff like that kind of has faded with time. I mean, the internet is such a blessing and a curse, you know, because it's very much a bad thing in terms of it's made people like this, you know, where it's not been good. Can I just combine these? Shell still remain in the cartridge. Okay, so you can't reload. Okay, got it. Cool. Yeah. So So that part's bothering me. There's some other stuff I can't really talk about. I mean, I like how I could talk about this part. I shouldn't really talk about those other parts, you know, but it's just the existential dread and the hopelessness of the situation is very disappointing to me as a human being, and you know, now I've tied this game to being a Twitch streamer, I guess. Like, I don't know if that was the smartest choice. Like, I kind of just wanted to play video games to escape from things, but this is fine. This is nice. Now I'm getting these feelings out and airing my grievances, and I'm actually doing decent this time. So I mean, that's something. That's kind of nice, right? I gotta focus. Fuck. Yep, I'm dead. So there's that. It just doesn't feel good, you know? Having your whole, like, livelihood put up on a giant screen for everyone to, like, just look at. I mean, that's what I'm doing now, right? But, like, people to judge you, people who shouldn't be judging you. I mean, from what I believe, I believe, you know, like, I guess God should be the only one necessarily judging you. And I don't think any of this has any place in, like, a governmental setting. Like, this shouldn't be something that, like, the government is trying to tell me. Like, since when is that a thing? Since when is the government just being able to tell you who you are? I mean, that just seems so backwards and really fucked up to me. Like, isn't the point of, like, being alive and having a consciousness or whatever, isn't it like, hey, look at me, like, hey, look at me, I'm Mr. Meeseeks, you know? No. It's to, you know, find yourself, and the government never really helps with that, right? They're just there to regulate, like, rules and laws and stuff, like, obviously, like, killing and, like, doing all the crimes and stuff is bad. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, that's all stuff the government should be dealing with. Why is it, like, a criminal thing to want to, you know, live authentically as yourself? Like, you know, and that's the other thing. That's the other thing I really want to talk about is, like, why in this world is it so taboo to just be your honest, authentic, down-to-earth, goddamn self, you know? Like, this is what I was trying to get at with that whole Smallville, like, Pa Kent thing. Like, he is genuinely, like, never, like, lies. He's, like, you know, he, like, likes to tell the truth and just have faith in people and stuff. And I want to be that. That's what I want from my life. I want to be that person who can just say that I believe in people, you know? And I practice that in my everyday life. For the most part, you are, like, trustworthy until proven otherwise with me, you know? And that's burned me a lot of times, obviously. And I like to tell the truth about things, but the world isn't set up. They don't want the truth. They want some kind of altered fucking version of the truth. I want to just be able to talk to people, say what's on my mind, to be honest, not to have to play games with it. I just want to talk to people and be like, hey, here's what's going on in my life. You know, you can tell me about what's going on in your life, and that's great too, you know, but it's like, I want people to just understand where I'm coming from, what's going on in my life, and then we go from there, you know? I want to be honest and open with, like, everyone, and I know that's, like, not a thing you're supposed to be doing, because you're supposed to be, like, guarding your information, and I understand that. I understand why, because there's a lot of people who want to take advantage of you. But why is it like that? Why is our world like that? Because there's desperate people. You know why those people are desperate? Because capitalism and because of the fucking government. You know, people are desperate because the shit's bad, and like they haven't found like a good way. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole, aren't I? I believe that, and I'm not trying to be like a communist or whatever, like, I don't know, maybe. I don't fucking care what label you put on it. Here's what I believe. I believe everyone should have, you know, food and a place to live and decency. What I have, you know, maybe not all this stuff, you know, and if I had to give up some of this stuff for people to have that, okay, cool, man. But I believe everyone, you know, should have that and should be equal, and they can do that. You know, money is a concept that we fucking made up. None of that means anything. If they really wanted to put their heads towards like curing cancer or like friggin', you know, getting everyone food and a place to stay, they could absolutely do it. I mean, look at fucking Mr. Beast. He's just some guy, right? I mean, he does have money, yes, but, you know, he got that money from doing charitable things, and he recycles that money to do more charitable things. And yes, he showboats and grandizes, you know, like, he does his Beast games and all of that, but all of that, and most of that is going towards a good cause at the end of the day when you're cycling through. And I know a lot of people don't like Mr. Beast for this reason or that reason, but I will stand by the guy because he's actually trying. He's out there trying to make a fucking difference. Somebody's got to do it, and I'm just glad he could actually, you know, be able to do that. And if we were all dedicated to this cause of trying to help the world, then yeah, I mean, I'm not saying we would all be Mr. Beast, but I'm just saying we could do something about it. The government, they don't want to do anything about it. They want to make life worse for people, you know? And it's just, it sucks because it's like they're taking away our freedoms, first of all, and then like, you know, it's just like the rich get richer and the poor stay poor, right? And I don't know, I'm somewhere in between all of this shit, you know? And it just sucks. It sucks that this is our world, that this is where everything is, and that people aren't equal, I guess. Like, nobody should be above anybody else. I mean, maybe in, like, positions of business or something, but even that shouldn't be, like, you know, there shouldn't be a hierarchy. It should be like we're all trying towards the same goal here. I mean, imagine what we could do as a world if we were all trying to move towards the same goal. And we can't agree on that goal and stuff, and I understand that because there's very deeply seated, like, religious backgrounds and stuff, and, like, we're having wars over that kind of stuff, and, like, I get it. And you know, and with that, it's like, I really believe that none of us have it right. We're all about 5% right, as The Good Place likes to put it, you know? Except for Doug Forsett. He got it right on the first try. Like, but anyway. There's no way any of us are, like, fully right about this situation, you know? It's like, it's impossible that we would be. It's just, we don't know what's going on, and we have to accept that, you know? And I want to be able to, I would rather us just, because at the end of the day, what most good religions are about is uniting people and having, like, unity and peace amongst the earth, you know, and that in itself is a concept that if we just kind of all came together and, you know, I'm not saying like abolish religion. You can believe what you want to believe, but don't let that make it so you're fighting with somebody else because they don't believe the same thing as you. See that as an alternative view on life and be interested by that. You don't have to believe what they believe. They have the right to believe that, and you have the right to believe whatever you want to believe, and there's no reason to fight about it. I know this stuff goes back in long-standing history, but it's like the Indiana Jones meme, like, let it go, Junior, you know? You have to let it go. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep fighting senseless wars again and again and again. War in and of itself is a senseless thing, and it's fueled by capitalism and the war economy, you know. And that's what it all comes down to. Is like, it all comes down to like, we can't live because we don't have money, and money runs the world and everything, and that's, you know, but money and religion runs the world, right? And so, I'm not saying eliminate religion. Obviously, you can believe what you want to believe. That's great. But money should not run the world. Money should probably not even exist. I don't know how we would get along without it. I mean, trading or something. I don't know. I don't have a solution for it. And obviously, nobody wants to come up with one because we're so comfy in this fucking, you know, capitalist economy situation. And, it is what it is. It's written on the news, and you know, like, that's what we're dealing with, you know. That's what life is right now. It's this fucking, okay, yeah, he's sidewalking. Good. I might make it through this. We're fuck did that happen? We're trying to all exist in this world, and it's difficult because they've made it difficult, you know? It never had to be this difficult. If we were all kind of on the same page, which we aren't, because there's things like racism, and there's things like transphobia and homophobia and stuff, you know? We let all these silly squabbles about people who are different than us run our lives. As if, oh my god, that person's different than me. I have to actively hate this person. The only people we should be, like, actively against... Oh my god, I botched that one. The only people we should be, like, actively against are, like, people, rapists, and, like, murderers, and, like, pedophiles, you know? Like, those are the people that we should, like, be against and throw in jail, and people who are making our lives actively worse, you know, like stuff like that. Like, those are the bad people. The actual bad people should be, sure, punished and whatnot. Yes, I agree with that. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of good people out there, or people who could be good, who are corrupted by a system that is making them not good. Take Squid Games, for example. And I know you've seen Squid Games, because, like, almost everyone has, right? All they're doing, that whole situation for, all of those players, they're so desperate to get money. You know, this thing that we made up, and that the rich have so much of, that they're willing to do these games, you know, or whatever, just for the fuck of it. And they're bored, and the people at the bottom are just desperate. So then it all works out, right? They get to see their games with the VIPs and all that. It's so fucked up. These people will do so many things. They will murder people or actively, like, participate in these games just to get this money. And I don't blame them. That's the fucked up part, is, like, I would probably be there right alongside of them, because, you know, money, and that's what runs our lives, and I hate that. I hate that that's a thing that we even have to, like, consider, that we would do anything just for, like, any sort of currency to be able to exist and live our lives. Not only ideologically or identity-wise, you know, being able to exist. I mean, trans people aren't, like, being allowed to exist right now, like, properly. We're being, like, discriminated against, you know, by the government now and shit. trying to be erased from the government. Let's be real. But, you know, like, it's like, not only that, but then you have like capitalism. So then it's like trans people can't get a job most of the time because people are assholes, and then there's discrimination against them, right? And this is a lot of different like groups, I understand, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, why it shouldn't be like this hard. We should be working as a society to like, so that this isn't a problem, you know? So that everyone has enough to kind of get by. And I had this other system, you know, like, we should all get a base amount of, like, food and whatnot, enough to survive, you know, like, basics, like rice, like bread, milk, maybe eggs, I guess. Like if they just gave all of that stuff to you, you know, the government would run some kind of program to give all of that stuff to everyone. And then I don't know how exactly that would work. This is just an idea. And then you would work, you know, and then you get like a basic amount of clothing. You get like a basic housing situation, and then you work hard, you know, or you work at a job to get money to get the extra stuff, not the stuff that is necessary to live, the stuff on top of that. Electricity, which I know should be necessary to live, not necessarily necessary to live. Internet, that kind of thing, like, you know, like, you don't need that, but like the extra stuff on top of that should be, you know, if you want like better clothes and like better food, like, yes, you know, for sure, like, or medicines or something. I don't know, even medicine should be like a given, or there should be some more structuralized form of making that a lot easier. It should not be expensive to get the medicines that you deserve, and it shouldn't be like so gate kept, you know, like, you should be able to just go to a doctor and be like, hey, a doctor visit shouldn't be expensive. You should just be like, hey, I have this problem and I need a medicine for it, and, you know, if you know what kind of medicine you need, then you tell the doctor that, they give you it, and, you know, that's it. And it kind of works like that, except it's all like very expensive, and there's a ton of money you put into it, or you have to like pay for insurance, and then that makes it like cheaper, but you're also paying for that all the time, kind of thing. I don't know. Like, this is what I'm saying. Damn it, I'm so screwed here. I've had a few good runs this time around. Most criminals are just desperate people, you know? Maybe that's a privileged perspective, but, you know, a lot of them are just doing what they're doing for money. Why are there bank robberies? Why are there robberies of, like, anywhere? Is because they want money to be able to survive, right? Like, why is, like, I don't know, why is, like, most illegal things? Because money to survive, you know? Or we're just trying to make our lives, like, less shitty, you know, in terms of, like, people do drugs and stuff, you know, like, which is a whole other problem. Like, I'm not into that. I don't do drugs. I never have done drugs. I've always been, you know, trying to stay away from that. Obviously, it's not good for you, so I try to avoid that. But, I get really sad for our world, you know? It's in this scenario where, you know, things are bad. And they've been bad for a long time, and nobody's doing anything to fix any of it. And it's like, what am I gonna do, right? Well, you know, you can vote or whatever. And I have a whole problem with, like, the voting system, and that's a whole, you know, topic. But, like, I already don't think there's ever been, like, a good candidate to vote for that's, like, ever made it far enough. The only one I've ever had, like, any passion for, granted, when I was still thinking I was you know, like, I was still growing up as, like, a cis male, thinking that I was, you know. Obviously I wasn't. That didn't end up being how it was, but when I was in college, I was like, this Bernie Sanders guy, he's got some good ideas. He seems like a lovable old grandpa guy, you know, like, and he never got the chance to do it, you know, and I would have much rather been in the world where he was in instead of Trump, and then that would have been, you know, not. I mean, I don't know. He probably wouldn't have been like the greatest president ever or anything, but like, you know, I've got faith that the guy like might have done a lot of good, you know, and he's gonna be doing a lot fucking better than Trump would have been. I don't know, maybe he's like notoriously transphobic too or something, but I really haven't like looked into his views on any of that, so hard to say, you know, maybe it would have been bad, but I just don't think it could have been anywhere as bad as it's kind of gotten to, is the idea there. So it's really frustrating to me that we live in a world like this, you know, and there's nothing really I can do about it, you know. Even if I had gone and voted against Trump, you know, Kamala lost by a lot. I don't even like her that much. You know, I didn't really like Joe Biden either, but that guy, like, at least was on my side, you know? Like, he was kind of an idiot, but he didn't actively, like, destroy me, you know, or, like, hate me. And then, in fact, he passed a lot of laws that helped people like me. And so, like, if anything, I would say that he was a good president, even though, I mean, the guy is just silly and he's old. I think there should also be, that's another big one, I think there should be, like, an age restriction on presidents. Nobody above, like, 70 or, like, 80 especially is really pushing it. I don't think above 70 should be allowed. Like, there's no reason for that to be a thing. That really is very much a problem. Because when you get old, you know, like that, you're really just stuck in your ways at that point, and you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's a thing, you know, but there's a reason that they say that, is because, you know, when you're that age, you're not going to change your mind on stuff like, you know, transphobia or whatever. And this is... Donald Trump is now our oldest fucking president. He was oldest, like, whatever he was in last time, too, but, like... This guy is so fucking old. We need somebody new. That's why I was so excited when, like, Mr. Beast was like, I'm gonna run for president, and then he, like, more recently has said, like, no, I'm probably not gonna do that, and like, you know, that's, it sucks, because that guy would be, like, the perfect president. More recently, Trixie the Golden Witch has also said that she's going to jump into, trying to be president, and I've been watching her for a long time, since, like, the Brony days, and I respect Trixie a lot, so I really hope that something comes of that, and that Trixie could maybe actually stand a chance. I don't really see it happening, but, like, it's interesting. It's an interesting thought. I will take anybody like that at this point, you know? Just anybody that I trust even slightly, you know, that I could even just, I don't know, just that I could even just be like, hey, this seems like this person is decent, but we never get those, you know? It's always the lesser of two evils, and that's what everyone says every time. Well, I chose this one because it was the lesser of two evils. It shouldn't be like that. We should be choosing good people, genuinely good people that run a country. That like, I know it's a pressuring job, but that, like, could make some kind of good change. Why? How did so many people vote for Donald Trump? Because he was going up against a woman. Both times! I guarantee you, that was most of it. And you know, after the last time, he had a lot of supporters. Even though last time a lot of people complained about all the bad stuff that he did, but still people voted for this guy again, you know? And it started off as a meme But at this point, it's just it's ended as like it hasn't ended yet, obviously. But it's just it's really it's not good, you know. We're in a very bad position here, and I don't really want to be in this. This shouldn't be a position we can get to like legally, you know. Beliefs and whatnot should have no place in a fucking like in the government like that, you know? Like, you shouldn't be able to just willy-nilly be like, oh yeah, now non-binary people don't exist and like transgender people can't like change anything on anything. Like that shouldn't be allowed as a thing to do. And then he's got all this stuff about like immigrants or whatever, like, you know, he's trying to like say that like immigration, like birthright or whatnot or whatever that's called, is like a bad thing. And it's like he's trying to he's being like, oh, I want to like retroactively take that away from people too. And it's like, motherfucker, we are all in some way like an immigrant in this fucking country. I hit circle, I swear I did. Like, we all came from somewhere else. This country, like, other than like the Native Americans, like, we are all fucking immigrants, man. Like, you're probably an immigrant. I haven't really looked that up. This is like the most political video I've ever made, by the way. And my friends know about this. I've ranted to them forever about these fucking beliefs that I have, you know, and they agree with a lot of them. They don't really agree with my stand against voting. I only want to really vote for somebody that I would feel comfortable backing, because then if I vote for somebody like, you know, I'm pretty sure one of my friends voted for Trump and now really regrets having voted for Trump, you know, back in the day in like 2016 or whatever. And, you know, it's like, I never want to be in a position where it's like, I caused this, you know. Had I voted for Trump, you know, like, which I never would have, I might have in 2016, and I would have been really embarrassed now to like have said that like I voted for this guy, you know. Like, I would have been in a position that like I would be so fucking embarrassed of my former self. And I'm embarrassed for my former self for a lot of reasons, but you know, a lot of that stuff grew me to be the cool, you know, trans woman that I am now. And I really don't hate my past, despite floor's wet, I know, despite everything that's been really bad or like cringy or just has hurt so much about my past. And there's been a lot, and there's stuff that's still continuing to hurt to this day. Despite all of that stuff, you know, I can look back at my past and be like, you know what? I did my best with the cards that I was dealt and the knowledge that I had at that particular moment. Maybe I always didn't do my best, but you know, it's less about like being the version of yourself that everyone else wants you to be. And the mark of a truly good person is that you can be yourself. Oh, I should have healed there. Look how much I dodged there. That was good. That you can be yourself despite everything that's getting thrown at you. And this continues to be my mantra, and the thing I hold on to ever since my transition is that I am going to, no matter what happens, no matter how sad or depressed or tragic my life gets, that I am going to be who I am, the most authentic version of myself. If they send us to fucking death camps like you know, Nazi Germany, I'll go, and before I go, I'm gonna have this moment with my brother where I'll look back at him and I'll be like, this is what you wanted. This is what you signed up for. This is what is happening because of the hate that has happened here. And they're not going to do that. I mean, I fucking hope they're not going to do that. We've got Elon Musk out here doing the Nazi, you know, salute thing, but... So I don't know, maybe. I mean, I know he's not president. God, let's fucking hope he never becomes president. I don't even know how old that guy is, but he's surely not 80 or whatever. Not that that's a real rule, but if I was president, I'd make a rule that says you can't be 80 plus years old, 70 plus in my book, and be the fucking president, you know? I don't know how many presidents that would eliminate, but I mean, a lot of them couldn't have been that old, because especially a lot of the earlier ones, because they didn't even make it to 70. They wouldn't even make it to like 50, you know? Like, that was old back then. So God, I just get really, you know, it just bothers me so much. It bothers me so much. Because I can't do anything about it, you know? I could go out there, I could protest, and if at some point it gets really bad, I might. I don't even know that that's gonna do anything. You know, and then on top of all of that, it's just hard to like, exist as a trans person. Outside of, you know, even just government stuff, you know? And even at a personal level, you just have all the dysphoria and all the that stuff, and you know, I don't hate me, you know, I love me, and not in a narcissistic way, it's taken me a long time to love me. Oh my god, that didn't even give me a shot. It's taken a long time for me to love me kind of way, and I can say that I do genuinely love myself despite, you know, or with all of my flaws. I don't know, like, I get really obsessive about, like, my, you know, facial hair and stuff, obviously. Yes, the cut right there is because I was trying to shave this little section here, and trying to get some very small hairs off. Very, very minor stuff that might not even come up on, like, a camera, you know, I'll admit it, you know? Obviously my voice isn't the best. I'm not even really trying right now. But I just, you know, it's not about that at this moment. You know, and I don't always pass the best, but I mean, my face now has, like, it's gotten a lot better. Like, HRT has done a lot for me. Like, we have pretty good genes in my family to make us look pretty good and whatnot, and I feel really, like, happy and blessed when I, like, look at myself sometimes and I catch myself at the right angle, and I'm just like, I look good, I look pretty, I look feminine, you know, even without, like, makeup. I'm not very good at makeup, you know, like, I can do, like, the foundation stuff, like, that's about what I do. Maybe like some, you know, the eyelashes sometimes. I don't really do anything with my brows. I mean, I should do that, but they're light, so it's like they're probably not gonna, like, it's really not gonna make that much of a difference anyway. But once in a while, I just, you know, and I have problems like, I've got this gut now because of all of the fucking like estrogen or whatever. It, like, it's supposed to give you, like, fat, obviously, for the right areas, and, you know, those areas are coming into a little bit, but, like, fuck, I forgot to switch from the thing to the thing. Hold on, I have to focus. Yeah, he's got me. Damn it. Wait, if I get up, come on, please. Ah, oh, fuck no. God damn it. Fuck you. Anyway, I feel good, you know? I feel good about myself. I do love myself. I do, at the end of the day, really love myself. And it's nice. It's nice to admit that, because I don't really always think about that, you know? Earlier today, when I was, you know, feeling somewhat depressed, I really was not thinking about how I genuinely do love myself, you know? I don't think I've ever been able to say that at any point in my life, that I really do, you know, love myself. And it's really hard for me to have gotten to this point in my life right now, you know? And I have regrets, of course, and I'm trying to not be living my life with those regrets because there's nothing I can do about the past, you know? I really, really do wish I had transitioned like 10 years sooner or something when I was like in college. But, you know, had I done that, I would have been dealing with this same shit back in like 2016 whenever, you know, fucking like Trump first got into office, and that would have been even more rough. There were less securities, you know, to even in place back then. So I don't know, it would have been pretty rough and pretty hard for me back then, but like, you know, there was less allies back then and stuff. So I mean, I am in a good spot. I do feel blessed that there's at least people to back me up now, and I feel like a lot of people around me in my life have done a lot of growing. I remember, not to call you out, but not that you're watching this either, but I know, well, you might be, actually, you're one of my only followers on here, but my friend Nick even said, like, hey, you know, like, after we got some time into the Trump, like, administration the first time around, that's when I realized about all of this transphobic stuff and, like, how bad it was, you know, and, like, how stupid some of these, like, policies were and whatever. And I, like, changed myself, and that guy is, like, you know, I would say he's a pretty good, you know, like, fucking ally now. I mean, Nick's a great guy, you know? I love that guy. He's the best, you know? And he's supportive, and he's here. Oh my god, there's, like, a whole description for this. Oh, shit, there's still unexploded ones. Damn it. No. So, yeah, you know, and what the fuck? How am I limping already? What the hell? Did I not use my thing? Anyway, if you are watching, Nick, I do appreciate you. And I appreciate all my friends. I mean, I was honestly very surprised that all of them were cool. And I don't really want to, like, get into specifics, but I just, you know, you have this in the back of your head, like, nobody, literally nobody other than, like, my brother gave me any opposition when I came out to any of them. I was met with support at every fucking turn, and it was really, like, powerful and like emotional, and just knowing that I had all of these people to back me up, you know, was really meaningful to me, and especially, I mean, I you know, I don't want to get into the whole thing, but like, my mom back in the day, like, I remember her making this statement. There was these two gay guys that were getting married, like, this was like, I don't know, 2006, 7, 8, something like that, and these two guys that, like, worked for my dad, who used to own this, like, business that was, like, this whole salvage thing. You know, my mom used to work there, too. Anyway, point being that these two guys were getting married, and I remember my mom making a statement, oh, that's kind of odd, that's weird, right? Like, something like that. I don't know why, but that always stuck with me, in terms of just, like, for some reason that stuck, that was always there with me in the back of my head, especially when I realized, like, all of this stuff, and I realized I would have to tell my mom at some point. I just thought, what if it's gonna be like that, where she won't be very supportive, she'll just be weirded out by it, and, like, at first, okay, like, she was super supportive, but also, like, she didn't always understand everything, but, like, now, she's really come around, and she's done a lot better. She still screws up, like, stuff sometimes. She's pretty good with, like, the name and most of the time the pronouns. So for one of my brothers being a dick and won't fucking, you know, like, you know, support or whatnot. And then, you know, and then she follows suit, and then it's just like, then it's just a whole thing. But, like, my mom's been a pretty big supporter of myself, and that's been really nice, you know. And then I told my dad, and, like, my dad's like, I guess like a Republican guy. Like I heard him like overheard him talking. I was there, but like he was on some like kind of political call where they wanted to like gauge his like beliefs and all of this and whatever, and he was totally with this guy that's like this transphobic like Republican guy, and I'm like, bro, at least he was going against Trump. Like, he probably still voted for him at the end of the day, or somebody else that... Well, I don't know. I don't know what he voted for, and I'm not gonna judge him like he did vote for Trump, but, you know, like... Honestly, I don't even know if my brother did, but, you know, like, I gotta assume, you know, all the mad shit he was talking about Kamala, like, he had to have. There's no way that he didn't, you know what I mean? Like... it just would not make any sense. Like, so it's just, to me, it just it really comes down to like everyone. Oh, so I guess I was talking about my dad. So my dad, but he was still supportive, and he still was trying to learn and stuff, but he still has these like little moments of it, you know, but he's always usually pretty supportive. Considering. But, so yeah, and then like, you know, all my friends I said, and then like everyone pretty much else that, I don't know, there's like a couple of people that I, like older guys at work or some shit that like fucking are assholes about it, but like, you know, they like, you know, they don't want to acknowledge any of this. I never actually like formally told them, but they know. They've heard it from other people, and like everyone, even my badge and stuff says like that, you know, like the new stuff. So like they know, they just don't care. They're old, and that's what I'm saying is like old people should not be allowed to fucking like be in office. Like anybody who's 70 plus should not be in a position to be making like judgment calls about a world that's way newer than they came into, you know? I mean, let's see, so they'd be born in like the 50s or like the 40s or something, right? Like, let's say like anybody in that era is like, it's just a little too old, you know? Like, they grew up in a very different world, and if they don't want to adapt, I understand, I guess. Like, it's not good that you wouldn't want to adapt and, like, try to understand. And I'm not always the best at understanding new stuff, too, but I'm a pretty reasonable person. If there's some kind of thing that, you know, comes back to, like, an identity-related thing, like, this is very core to somebody's identity, that's not like a problematic thing that's gonna fucking harm or injure somebody or, you know, get somebody killed or something. Like, yeah, great, you know, and okay, and then everyone could argue the same against like trans people, whatever. They're like, oh, it's gonna get us killed because there's gonna be like guys in the women's bathroom or whatever, you know. It's like, no, dumbass, it's gonna be like a trans woman, and she's gonna be scared to fucking even go in there. She's not gonna even try to talk to anybody, let alone, you know, try to do anything skeevy or gross or like pull a gun or a knife on somebody. She's gonna be in there like scared that she's peeing the wrong way or something. Like, this is a real thing, you know. I don't want to get into the minutia of it all, but like, there's a different sound, so like, you know, you're aware of these things as like a trans person. It's just like, it's less so being like, you know, actively like predatory or harmful towards anybody else. You're just scared to be in there because of shit like this. Not because you don't belong, just because like other people have such ridiculous like beliefs about this stuff, and there's like so many fucking like Karens that would like never let, you know, like that would like fucking just rail you over the coals, you know, if you're like a non-passing like fucking trans woman or whatever. Like, rake you over the coals, I think is the word there. and you know, like, nothing you could do about it, really. I mean, you know, pass better. That's what everyone always fucking says, and it's like, don't be so fuck, you know, like as Amy Jen would say. Be a fucking asshole, you know? Pass better. Fuck you. Like, be a nicer person. Like, let's do the opposite, you know? I'll just tell you the same exact thing. Oh wait, it's not gonna happen because you don't fucking have a bone in your body of like, I'm not, okay, that's me. But anyway. You know, and that's what I find, is that most of these people genuinely started from a good place where it wasn't even necessarily that they were transphobic, and then people that they like or follow are transphobic, and so they adopt this, because that's what I did too. That was me. I did not understand, you know, a homophobic or trans, or I mean homosexual or like, you know, like a transgender person, any of that. I didn't understand like basically anything LGBTQ like related. First of all, because like they don't teach you about that shit in school, and my parents sure weren't gonna fucking talk about it, you know, like for the most part. In a like early 2000s world, you know, or the 90s especially, like, and this is the problem. There's no like real education that these are just people, and you know, it's because it's entangled in this political like cyclone of like bullshit that ever, you know, it's like the Arcadia Bay storm of fucking all of this shit, and it's like we can't just have a discussion about it, and there can be no education about it, because then that would just, everyone lose their goddamn minds. You know, it's true though. Republicans would just like shut down schools or something. Are we gonna have to get to the point where there's like Democrat and Republican schools? I don't even follow either of them. The only reason I'm even like half like cool with the Democrats is because they actually seem to care about like protecting me and shit. And if you want to go with the lesser of two evils, I mean, I guess in that case, in this one particular instance, that might actually, you know, be me related. You know, it's just like, oh my god, I just want somebody who doesn't hate me, you know, in office. Can we just do that, please? Somebody who would like support me, and you know, like, honestly, I mean, like that, like I was saying, that's like fucking Biden. That's what he was. I mean, he was an idiot. He probably got that from somewhere else, you know. He wasn't thinking of these things on his own, and if he was, hey, cool, good for you, Biden. Thanks for being an ally. But like, what is with all of this discrimination and whatever? It goes back to the beginning of time. You know, we have differences. We shouldn't see differences necessarily. If we want those differences to be apparent, like, that's fine in some ways. Like, you know, there definitely is, and I'm not trying to be like racist or something here, I'm just saying there definitely is like a black culture, you know, like an African American culture, I should say, that, I don't know, is that the right term anymore? I don't even know. I'm so out of, you know, that. But, and I shouldn't be talking about like race things, but I'm just saying there's a culture that they you know, have that, like, maybe it would be like problematic if like a white person like adopted said culture, right? So like, there are differences, and I'm not saying there's not. I'm not trying to erase, like, you know, black people, white people, like, all I'm saying is that we're all humans at the end of the day, you know? We have our differences, but instead of fighting over those differences, we should try to understand those differences. And you know, even if we can not live in that perspective position, obviously, because we can't just jump into another person's shoes, we can have the perspective of, oh, this person is a person just like me, and they have different experiences than I do, and that's okay. because that's the way the world works. Literally, without race, without gender, without anything, every individual person on this fucking planet, planet Earth, the planet that we all live on, unless one of you is like a Skrull or like an alien or something that I don't know about, oh, all of us who are fucking humans on this planet exist here, and we all have different experiences in life. We all experience different life. We all have similarities in a way. There's lots of similarities, and you know, but like there's a lot of stuff to where we just experience life differently, but we are all people. We're humans, you know, and that is fine. That's a good thing that we can all have one thing that connects us, but we're not the same, and that's great. We have different experiences. That's what makes life so rich and nuanced. I don't think we should fight over those differences, though. I think we should value those differences, and I know it gets really complicated, you know? I guess it all comes back to, like, the things that are criminal, you know, like in The Last of Us 2. Obviously, spoilers for The Last of Us 2. Everyone knows, right? Joel dies. Joel dies by the hand of Abby. Abby killed Joel because Joel killed her dad. You know? And so then when Ellie comes to kill Abby, you know, which doesn't end up happening, it's understandable. You get that from Abby's perspective if you're, like, paying attention, or you're in understanding the game. You get the idea that this is a nuanced situation, and so obviously at that point, but that's the thing. Even with all of that, at the end of the day, at the very end of the game, they both just decide to give it up because it's not worth it, because the cycle of revenge will just keep going, and somebody will always want revenge. We do not need revenge. You know, in this case, we do not need war. What we need is to come together and fucking try as a world, or at least as a country or something, to get over our problems. But we can't do that because we're divided. We're divided by these things, these stupid things that should not divide us. You know, like, should transgender people be allowed to do anything or exist? Like, yes, of course we should. Like, that shouldn't be an issue, you know? But there's just people who just don't get it, you know? And it's like, how do we remedy that? I don't know. But, like, at this point, it's gotten so far away from... Like, people should just be allowed to be people. They should be allowed to exist, you know, as long as it's not, like, actively harming another person. I don't see what is the harm in a person existing and, you know, I don't know, transitioning for one, you know, that kind of thing. That's fine. Like, obviously there's some bad stuff out there that, you know, you can't just be, like, okay with. And then it's like, where do we draw the line, right? Like, they're trying to criminalize being transgender now, so, like, I guess that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of nuances to it, obviously, but I think the core mission statement of our world should be, at its face value, that we're trying to work together to make a better world, you know? But we're not, and that's the problem. That's the ultimate problem. At the end of the day, we're just squabbling, and we're fighting over things that don't need to be fought over, you know? There shouldn't be any, like, discourse against, you know, certain races or genders or anything to that effect. I mean, and I think hopefully this is where we're headed as a world, you know, and as a society, is we'll get over this at some point. It's like racism, you know, I mean, it's here still. There's still racism, obviously, but it's gone down a lot since the days of, like, you know, like Martin Luther King and stuff, like, you know, like they've come a long way. Or like slavery, like that was a thing, obviously a really dark point in our history as humans, you know. So, or like, you know, Nazi Germany or something, like that wasn't cool, obviously. It's very bad stuff. But you know, these are very extreme situations, and this eventually these people, you know, have done better for themselves. And I really hope that after all of this bullshit, after all the dust settles, you know, we can really just get back on track and stop hating on trans people and stop hating on fucking any race, you know, or whatever. And we're mistrusting. That's who we are as the human race. Nobody trusts anybody to, you know, really do anything. They don't trust other nationalities or anybody that's, like I said, different than them, you know. That's what it all comes down to, is you're different than me, I can't trust you, because in my brain here, that's bad. That's a bad thing that you're different than me, you know. It can't be remedied, because you're not the same as me, you know. So we can't be friends because the world is fucked, and that's how it is, you know. Like, this is bullshit. That shouldn't be a thing. We should accept other people for who they are, as long as it does not harm physically or, you know, like the livelihood of another person. And I don't understand how people can make an argument to try and say that like, you know, any trans person who's just living their most authentic life, and that's the hardest part about it. That's what it all comes back to, is that people don't like that trans people are allowed to exist, which is stupid, but also that trans people can just be like authentic, you know, can just be something that they haven't done the work to figure out within themselves, you know, their most authentic self, or they can, you know, or it's like the dream that they had to like burn in a fire, you know, basically saying that they could never do, kind of thing. And I know that's kind of like a separate concept, but also, I don't know, like, a lot of times people will give up themselves to be like an adult. They'll give up what they consider to be their like dreams or whatnot in order to essentially conform to society, you know, which is a whole thing. And then it's just like, they never needed to do that. They gave up themselves, you know, and finding yourself and being yourself within all of the chaos in the midst of everything is so much more important, and just maintaining that you can be yourself in the chaos, you know, is great. What the fuck? Seriously? I hit circle. Let's hit circle. It's hard. Obviously it's hard. And that's really, I feel like, the core of why today and yesterday I've been so down. Is because, you know, the thing is, it's just like, I'm trying to be my most honest and authentic self, and the world is saying fuck you and giving me the middle finger. And it's not all of the world, obviously, but right now it's the people in power of my world in the US here, which I feel like kind of dictates a lot of other parts of the world too. So like, it makes me. I used to be really kind of more patriotic, you know, when I was younger, and I used to love like America and like all that shit. You know, like I was like America, fuck yeah, you know that was me. I genuinely could sing along to Team America and be like, you know, this is great. You know, little did I know. I knew it was a parody, but like, you know, at the same time, something about it was genuine to me. Now I'm like disgusted by my country in a lot of senses. This is still a good, you know, place in a lot of ways. It is my home. I've never had another home. I like where I live. It's a nice area. It you know, and that's what really kills me, is that my home, my nostalgic, you know, my slice of life home that I've had my entire life is here in this country that is actively hating people, and not even just hating, you know, like that's one thing, but like actively making it harder to exist. People like myself. Oh my god, that was awesome. In a perfect world, I could just stay in that corner and, yeah, I'm dead. And just, like, fire mines at him and dodge him, but, like, this isn't a perfect world, because the dodge thing is, like, a whole thing. It kills me that my home, and what I consider to be my core of a home, is here in this country that I once considered great. And I know, make America great again. No, fuck that shit, man. Like, the slogan in and of itself isn't necessarily bad, and it has a good element, but it's just been ruined by this guy. You know, like, America used to be great in terms of, like, we didn't fucking give as much of a shit. I mean, actually, it used to be like anybody who was gay, and I remember this, like when I was growing up, especially, it was gay people, and nobody gave a shit about trans people, honestly, because nobody, at least I didn't consider them to be real at that point. You know, because that's what they had told me. You know, they told me. I hadn't experienced that myself. I mean, I had some moments in my childhood of obviously dysphoria and whatnot. But, it never really seemed like a real thing to me until later in my life, when I actually understood that, like, yes, this is a thing that happens to people, you know? It's not just like, oh, I decided I didn't want to be a boy or something. It was like, I was actively not a boy. You know, there's a spectrum of this shit, and, you know, like, maybe I was socialized as a boy, and that made me think that I was a boy, but I wasn't. I never was, you know? I may have, like, the anatomy of what somebody would consider to be male, but it's like, you know, like, mentally, it was a whole other thing, and, you know, I that's what I'm saying, too, is, like, if I had figured this all out a lot sooner, that, like, trans people wasn't just like, oh, that's kind of a weird person, you know, back to that whole thing, and that, like, this is a real thing that happens to people, like, and like, hold on, I gotta fucking focus on this is, because I'm actually getting somewhere, like, this is a real thing that people struggle with, you know, then, like, and that would have, nice. No, don't kill me! Damn it! Fuck you! Fuck you, Nemesis! Fuck you, you little bitch, Nemesis! Alright, I don't know. I feel like if I would have been, you know, educated on this sooner, I might have been able to actually live my life a lot more as a kid, you know, and I would have done a lot of this growing back then, and now I have to do it in my fucking 30s because we're just stunting the growth of people who are different, you know? Like actually different. And I understand, in a sense, why people like Trump. I mean, he's an asshole, obviously. But why people like him think, oh, this is silly. There's no such thing. You can't just change your gender. I don't feel like a woman, therefore nobody else can feel like a woman that, you know, was born as a man or whatever. You know, like, that's what he's thinking. Not my words. I mean, I said those words, but they're not, like, my thoughts. So, it's like, no, dude. Like, you're a cis male. Like, you don't get it. You don't have the perspective, and you do not actively want to have the perspective. You don't want to at all, you know, acknowledge that, hey, somebody has a different life experience than I have. It's my way or the highway. That's Trump's way. You know, my understanding of this was that I had to grow and I had to figure all of this out, and then I eventually figured out, oh yes, there are other people with other perspectives. You know, like, not that I didn't know that, but like, that this is a perspective that somebody can have. Mentally, there's a thing that can happen that, you know, your gender identity is different than the parts that you were born with or whatnot. You know, that's just something that happens sometimes, and it's a real thing, and it's a lot more common than people, like, make it out to be, you know? And I'm not saying, like, you know, everyone, like, should go out and change their gender or something. I'm not telling anybody to do that. Anybody who is trans should definitely do that, you know? Anybody who, like, anybody who doesn't get it, like, obviously you're probably not trans. That, I don't know, like, that's not true, because, you know, I didn't get it at first, but then when I, like, understood it, I'm like, oh my god, that's me, you know? Like, if you don't have that reaction, like, I'm not necessarily saying that you're not trans at that point, but, like, it might indicate more so that, like, if you have, like, this feeling, like, no, I'm comfortable with my gender identity, like, I'm a male, I'm cool with that, you know, and like, okay, sometimes you're just lying to yourself, like, your dysphoria is kicking in, and you're like, no, I have to pretend to be a man, because, you know, like, that's what I've been told my entire life. I can't change genders. Like, that's a whole thing, and that's like your brain, like, or your, like, yourself, like your subconscious or whatever, maybe not subconscious, but like your, what do they call it, your conscience, like, you know, that inner monologue, not your conscience, but like an inner monologue telling yourself these things, like, there's no way to do that. When, you know, like, yeah, if you are in the position that your gender identity and your mind and your body don't align with what you, like, feel on the inside, or how you experience the world, shall we say, because, you know, there's the whole facts don't care about your feelings. Fuck that. Like, that guy's an asshole too. Fucking Ben Shapiro. Like, there's all these people. Even that one, the one lady who's, like, the trans woman, but then she's, like, also, like, a Republican. She's, like, the pick-me, you know, one. That shit is bullshit. Like, you know, whose side are you on? Like, you are trans, and you're like, fucking, you're gonna take the side of the people who actively fucking hate you? Like, what are you doing here, you know? Like, come on. Like, get a clue, you know? Like, yeah, I think I'm done for. He's got me. He's got the jizz arm there. So, yeah, you know, it's a very complicated thing, and that's why, I mean, one, that's why there should be education on this. If you, like, 'cause then you can, like, consider this stuff when you're younger, so you don't have to just fucking, like, figure this all out later in life, you know? Some people know when they're younger, too, and it's like, I kind of did know. I noticed things that, like, made me think, like, oh, yeah, okay, like, that's kind of weird. Like, why would I do that? And you can, okay, here's the other thing, like, I want to get across. You can totally be into feminine things. Like, you can be a guy and like My Little Pony. Like, that's cool. That's what I thought was who I was, but that's not who I was, you know? Like, for the longest time, whenever I, like, started accepting that I liked some more feminine things, I thought to myself, well, you know, and that really was the first round of when I started, like, questioning this stuff, you know? It was, like, back then. And it really, it wasn't, it's so fun, and this is why I have so much regret around not transitioning when I was, like in 2013, when I was thinking about all this stuff, because, like, I wasn't educated on it. I didn't understand that transgender people are real. This is embarrassing to admit, I really thought that it was just, like, cross-dressing and, like, traps and stuff. I know it's such a bad term to use now, you know, like, but I said to myself, wouldn't it be cool if I could do that all the time and not be judged for it? And my immediate thought was, what would my parents think? What would my friends think? What would the people around me think? And back then, I don't know. It might have been a lot worse. But you know, now, honestly, it worked out. And I'm glad I don't have to, like, really, I don't have to worry anymore, because it's just all out in the open now, and everything's good. But it just goes to show I was having these same thoughts like 10 years ago, and I got to be depressed about it for another 10 years, you know? And there's the whole, like, what is depression thing, and a lot of times, I feel like for people who are like me, you know, for trans people, a lot of times, depression is like Jim Carrey says, it's like deep rest. You need deep rest from the character that you're trying to play. Fuck you, I don't want to play this character anymore. That's what Jim Carrey says, right? Obviously for Jim Carrey it wasn't like a gender thing, it was more so just like figuring out like the difference between like acting and then like being like a really genuine person. I think it was more separating the guy Jim Carrey from, like, you know, like the actor, like the celebrity Jim Carrey from like the person Jim Carrey. So like that, I mean, that just really speaks to me though, because it's like, yeah, that is what depression is, you know? You do need rest from this character that you're trying to play. You're depressed because you are not being authentic to your true self, you know? And then you can be like, but Emily, you just said you're having a rough time, you're being depressed or whatever. That's because people are actively trying to, you know, shove my identity away, you know, to invalidate who I actually am. They're basically trying to take all the work that I did, you know, all the stuff we've just been talking about, and throw it away and be like, that's not valid, you can't do that, that's not a thing, that's not allowed, that's not an experience that can be lived. Guess what? I'm here. I was living proof that that was an experience that you can have. Fuck, I forgot to switch my fucking weapons. Living proof right here that, yes, actually, in fact, you can feel, you know, discordant with, you know, from your gender and your like, sex identity or whatever, you know. Those two things aren't the same thing, and they can often be different, and so, like, transgender is a thing, you know, like, that's what I'm saying, like, that's a lived experience some people have, and the people who don't want to acknowledge that, you know, that is them trying to be like, well, because it's not my lived experience, it cannot also be their lived experience, which is just so backwards. That's like saying because I'm white, there are no black people. You know, like it's fucked up. It's just wrong. It doesn't make any sense. It's so backwards. I don't understand why this is a thing. I mean, I do. I literally do understand. I don't understand why we're allowing this to still be a thing. The reason it's a thing is because they cannot wrap their head around that other perspective. Or they do not want to wrap their head around that other perspective because they are transphobic or homophobic or whatever, you know. And we've come a long way with gay people. We really have. It's more accepted to be gay now, and I'm really happy for that, because back in the day it was really bad for gay people and all they got was bashing, and it was a common insult in the early 2000s to just call people gay even when it had nothing to do with anything that that was going on. It was just a thing we threw around, just like, you know, the R word and like all of these other things, you know, like, you know, we just said these things. We just do things. No, we said these things because, you know, I don't know, the world was fucked up back then, and that's just how it was. We would say these things, and come on, turn around, Jill. Okay. And shit. We didn't know any better. We were stupid, you know, asshole little kids. Like, we didn't understand that, like... I mean, we understood that it was, like, offensive to call somebody, you know, gay even when they weren't, and we were trying to sling it as an insult. But it's just so wrong that we did that, you know? Or we made fun of somebody because they did a slightly more feminine thing. You know, you ever notice how when girls do a more masculine thing, and I'm not saying trans men don't get their own form of hate, but it's always the trans women we're talking about in media and like in politics and whatever. You rarely, if ever, hear about the trans men, and maybe that's just because of the, like, what I'm watching and the circles that I'm like going through and whatever. But like, it just does not come up as much because nobody gives a shit if you are a woman who wants to, you know. The only thing it really comes up for is like when people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't, like, this is gonna impact our like reproductive stuff as like a species," you know, and like, even so, I've noticed I mean, like, I don't pay so much attention to it, but from what I understand, in a lot of cases, trans men still can actively use like their parts, you know, to in this case, create a baby or whatnot, you know, like that is a thing that can still happen. When you are a trans woman and you go on, you know, like estrogen and stuff, it really, it doesn't give you like a lot of the benefits that like trans men get. Like, you know, with trans men, it changes their voice, you know, that's really cool. It does a lot of the work to make that. I mean, estrogen is great too. I mean, it does a lot of really good stuff, and you know, obviously you get, you know, some breast growth, and you get like the mental clarity, and I'm sure a lot of that happens with testosterone as well. You get other stuff like that, but it does impact your ability to like reproduce and whatnot, and in a sense, like, trans men can still do that a lot of the time. I mean, not like I don't know what the numbers are on it, you know. I'm not gonna say it's a lot of the time, but I am gonna say that it's more likely as a trans man you're going to be able to, you know, still use your reproductive organs rather than trans women who most of the time it gets to a point where it's really not gonna for the purposes of reproduction, you know, it's not really gonna get you anything, and nothing's gonna happen. I've probably heard of a couple of cases of it working, but like, you know, and everyone's different, and everyone's taking different stuff, and there's a whole spectrum of different stuff going on here, but yeah, it's realistically at the end of the day, for whatever reason, other than that one specific subset, trans men don't usually get as much hate. I mean, I think there's still a lot of hate lobbied at them too, but like a lot, it's probably like 80-20, you know, like, or at least, and again, this is just my perspective. I don't know this for a fact, and this is what I'm clarifying. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh yeah, trans men have it so easy, but, you know, I've said that in the past, but I don't actually mean that. Obviously, it's hard to be trans no matter who you are, but in a lot of ways, it's more accepted to want to be a man, because the men run the world, right? And so then, if a man or somebody that they perceive as a man, which, you know, isn't really a man if they're a trans woman, you know, transitions to become a woman, you know, to want to live as a woman, they see that as like, why would anybody want to do that? Nobody wants to be a woman. Even women don't want to be women. Look at this, they're transitioning to guys. They don't want to be women either. It's like, no, that's not how that works. But, you know, at the same token, did I switch to the vine thrower? I did. Okay. See, fuck, what? I should usually be able to get off 2 of them, but they don't. This guy sucks. I hate this guy. So yeah, so there's such a stigma against women, and that's its own thing too, is just like, women have it bad already, especially with people like Trump in power, you know. I mean, they still have to fear stuff. So like, not even, so imagine not only being a woman in this world here right now, me, and also being trans, me, and then also being gay on top of that, you know, me, lesbian, you know, and then it's like, I'm bi, of course, but I really steer more towards just being a lesbian at this point. I like the label better anyway, and do I have some attraction to guys? Like, I can find like celebrity guys like hot. Like, I think, like, I don't know, like Ryan Reynolds is obviously the big example. Like, everyone thinks he's hot, right? Like, fucking, like, Tom Holland, he's pretty cute. Like, I like him. He's, you know, I would never go for any of these people because, like, you know, they're married or whatever, but, like, you know, like, okay, yeah, I have my, like, ones that I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy's kind of, like, you know, and okay, I'm not gonna get into all that, but, like, there's benefits to wanting to be with guys, but then I look at a guy, like the normal guy, even if he's, I just look at them and I just don't get that same kind of level of, like, oh my god, you know, he's so handsome. Like, I get that, oh my god, she's so beautiful whenever I look at most, like, women, you know, like, and a lot of that could be like, you know, I'm jealous or envious as well of these women. And so apparently envy is just like, you don't want them to have it as well. So mostly I'm jealous of these women, more so than envious of these women. I definitely, you know, like, I just, you know, I look at them and I'm like, wow, she's beautiful. I would absolutely love to, you know, be with this woman. And oh, okay, I guess not. And a lot of times it's not just that either. Obviously, I am more attracted to women than just in the looks department. But I'm just saying, looks-wise, normally my brain will... oh, God, come on, explode already. Normally, my brain will go, oh yeah, that woman is pretty, rather than, like, it takes a pretty extreme example for me to be like, oh yeah, that guy is hot or something. Like, you know, like, yeah, it can happen, and it does happen, like, absolutely. But it's not, like, my preference when it comes to, yeah, I'm dead. You know, it's not my preference when it comes to, like, being attracted to people, I guess. So, like, am I bi? Yeah, like, for sure. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm like, mostly a lesbian. So, yeah. But I'm okay, and then, oh God, and then everyone says bi. You know, like, bi is bad because it means you don't like, I'll like anybody, pretty much, you know? I just use the label bi because it's, like, it's easier to go for. And then also, like, I don't want to stereotype. I'm not, like, trying to be like all guys suck or whatever, but, like, most of the guys I've tried to date have either been, like, you know, skeevy, like, or perverts, or, like, in the case of when you finally find the one good guy, he ghosts you after, like, you know, forever or whatever, and it just sucks. It's just like women on dating apps too. Like, all of us suck on these dating apps. Like, dating apps suck. I don't like it. I hate that. I really wish I had been born in a time when, you know, I mean, like, I know you would have had to have gone out and, like, socialize, but at least I know that would be a thing, and I would go out and try to, like, find a woman, and maybe it would work out, kind of thing. Although, like, being a lesbian and, like, you know, a while ago would have been bad, because it's, like, it would have been a lot harder, too. I don't know, I'm just saying, like, now it's just difficult. It's just difficult to find anybody, you know. It is what it is, and anybody out there who's got somebody, you know, hold on to them, hold them tight, like, be grateful for what you have. Again, perspective-wise, it's difficult to find that most genuinely, like, good, we both love each other, kind of, affection, you know? It's really not an easy thing to get these days, and maybe it's just me. I'll fully admit, and maybe it's just me being trans as well. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But even, like, I'll be on, like, you know, like, my groups and stuff, and they'll be like, lots of people will be like, oh, me and my wife, and we're so happy, and it's just like, damn, like, what is wrong with me that people, you know, don't want to be with me, you know? Like, I don't know. I'm not great at it either, because nobody's ever really given me a chance, you know, like, to be good. Like, that's the other part of it, I guess, is, like, I've just never really gotten the opportunity to be, like, with anybody either, but everyone I always end up liking never ends up liking me back, you know, kind of thing. And that's fine. I mean, that's life, right? But even when it's just, like, online dating or whatever, and then I can never get anybody to, like give me a chance, you know? They always ghost me. I don't know what it is, what I'm doing wrong. Maybe and I'm always the one initiating, too, and that really bothers me, you know? I want somebody else to initiate, you know? That's one of my green flags, and I'm not going to read all of those, because then we're going to get really personal, but, I mean, not that we already fucking haven't. I might as well at this point, but I'm not going to, because it's personal. I don't know. it's like I could tell you everything, but I'm not going to tell you everything, like, you know, kind of thing. I just wanted to rant about this. Nobody's gonna see this anyway. I mean, somebody might see this. I probably will still save it. I don't know if I'm gonna upload it to YouTube because, like, you know, there are people that I've mentioned in here that, like, might watch it. Even then, you know what? They probably deserve to hear this. So I really, I'm struggling here, you know? The world is in a really bad spot, and there's nothing I can do to fix it. The only thing I can do is sit here on a stream where nobody's watching and essentially speak my mind, and it won't help and it won't do anything, but at least I'll feel a little bit better about it, you know, until tomorrow when Trump is like, yeah, now Nazi Germany or something. I don't fucking know. I don't know what could get worse, but it can get worse. I mean, I guess, like, that one law that is supposed to, like, prevent, you know, changes to, like, birth certificates and stuff, it says that, but, like, at the same token, like, are we enforcing that now? Or, like, how does that even work? Like, is there, can he just, like, what are these executive orders? Can he just, like, say that that's a thing now, and then it just, like, is a thing now? Like, is that how that works? Like, when, how long does it take for that to go into effect? Or is it just, like, immediately that goes into effect? Like, shouldn't the other forms of government, isn't that, like, a thing? I learned about this in school. Maybe it doesn't work like this anymore, but isn't this supposed to go through, like, the, it's like the three branches of government or whatever, right? And it's supposed to go through the other ones, these, like, laws or whatever that he's, like, trying to pass. Like, it should be a process. It's like, you know, there's supposed to be fail-safes for this kind of stuff, unless the entire fucking government, like, agreed upon this, which at that point, I mean, that's just horrifying. And if that is the case, then, like, I don't want to live on this planet anymore, you know, like, really, I mean, I know that's a meme, but, like, Jesus Christ, guys, really? We all, like, said this was cool to just, like, nobody can change anything anymore? And I don't even know if that's, like, official. I just saw that on, like, a video, like, a couple of videos, actually, but, like, and, like, if it is just a non-binary thing, too, I don't want to be like, oh, it's just that. Like, I do feel bad for those people. And like, you know, the people who had, like, the X on their licenses and stuff, like, that, you know, needed that or wanted that to be, in order to feel more at home with their non-binary gender. I don't have the perspective of non-binary, but, I mean, I understand what that kind of feels like, I guess. I mean, like, when I was transitioning, I thought maybe bigender, but then I realized, like, just, like, all the testosterone and, like, the male stuff is, like, what's the problem, more so than, more so than anything else. That is what's really, like, bothering me, and that's what I need to transition away from, is, like, shit. Run, oh, come on, bitch. Yeah, I think I'm fucked. So, yeah, I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is, like, that was the part of me that I couldn't really get down with. But I did consider at some point, I remember my friend Banana even saying, like, before I fully came out, you know, there were signs, obviously, and he almost guessed that at one point, but he even said to me, if one of my friends came out to me as non-binary, I would kill them. He didn't mean that, like, Banana wouldn't actually do that. I don't think anyway. I would really hope he wouldn't. But like, this is the kind of extremism of like, and actually he was maybe one of like the more resistant friends. But you know, he wanted to. As soon as I like messaged him about it, he wanted to like get together and talk about it. And after I talked about it with him a little bit, he understood and he got it. And you know, he had all of the same rhetoric bullshit that they shoved down people's throats. You know, like, what about sports? What about prisons and stuff? And it's like, dude, how is this affecting you and me right now being friends? It's not. Like, I understand the political issues that we're, like, talking about here. Like, these are important things to think about, but you shouldn't invalidate somebody's identity just because, oh, hey, there might be problems in, like, prisons or something. Oh, hey, you know, sports. And like, trans women have never dominated, like, sports. Like, that's not a thing. That's a fucking lie that they told you in order to scare you into fucking, like, voting against us or something. Like, it's bullshit, too, because, like, I'm from the perspective, again, a perspective thing, I'm from the perspective that who the fuck cares? But people apparently really care about sports. Nobody has once ever gave a shit. There's so many jokes, too. Like, Family Guy has definitely made the joke, like, a bunch of times. And I know, not a reliable source of, like, what people think or whatever, but, like, oh, nice. That was a good dodge. You know, I mean, like, I was always under the impression that nobody gave a shit about women's sports. And then all of a sudden, whenever trans women are fucking, you know, like, taking over or whatever these sports, which they're not, by the way, that's what I was trying to say. Oh my god, right, now it's, god damn it. I hate that you can't, like, just reload it while that's so stupid. Now, all of a sudden, oh shit, you know, like, God, I hate that he has that too. Fucking asshole shit right there. All of a sudden, now we care about women's sports, and that's, you know, oh my god, he always grabs me right here too, and this is the worst spot for him to grab me at. You know, now that trans women are a thing, oh my god, women's sports, you know. Nobody has given a shit. Who gave a shit about women's sport? And I'm not meaning to be, like, a sexist, like, asshole here. It's just, like, all the male sports, and again, I mean, this is the sexism of our world, right? Like, the male sports, like football, basketball, all of those basketball can be played by, football can be played by women, too. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying all these sports, the ones that anybody cares about are those other ones, and then, like, now, like, all of a sudden, we're worried about trans women, like, dominating, you know, these female sports that, like, you know, 5 seconds ago nobody, like, was talking about, and now they're only talking about it because of the trans women and all that. So, like, and it's never been shown to be true. It's maybe happened, like, once or something. Again, just like these fucking bathroom examples. They're like, we can't have them in the bathrooms because they're gonna, like, kill people or something. And it's like, dude, like, that's a whole other problem. First of all, the problem is not with the fact that the transgender person is using the bathroom that their like gender identity goes with. The problem is that transgender person sucks because they're a fucking murderer or like a rapist or something. Like, these are two separate things. They're not the same thing. You know, it is allowed to be separated. Not every transgender person wants to murder people or fucking, like, rape people in a bathroom or something. Like, that's not how this works, man. That's not how this works, you know? And the fact that my identity, my entire personage, and me trying to be this most authentic, genuine person and honest person and trying to be the best version of myself possible is all tied to this bullshit about, like, you know, all of that we're just, like, actively bad and harmful people, and this is the only way that they can actually get us to look like the bad guys, is to just finger us with, like, fuck, maybe that's not the right wording, but, you know, to throw at us, like, oh, well, you know, this happened one time, so now all trans people are, like, criminals, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is some bullshit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people to where they would be like, oh, yeah, all trans people are bad people, or whatever. Like, it's just, that's what I'm saying, and this is the problem with our world, and this is the problem with our society, and this is the problem with everything, is that we just will not accept that trans women are women and trans men are men, you know, and it's like trans people exist, transgender people exist, you know, and a lot of us are genuinely good, wholesome, awesome, authentic, genuine people. We have done the work. There are cis people, lots of them, obviously, because there's a lot of more cis people than there are trans people, but there's a lot of cis people who have also done the work and are genuinely good people and have really figured themselves out. But in this day and age, not, you know, as many people are really trying to do that. They're just kind of a cog in the machine, you know, and they've lost themselves. They've lost their identity in the identities of content creators and other people, you know, parasocial relationships and whatever, and ideologies and beliefs that oh, well, you know, PewDiePie believes this, so I believe this, or something. I don't know. It's a bad example, maybe, but so yeah, they're so wrapped up in their identity, their online identity, their digital identity, that they lose track of who they are as a person, and really political identity within their politics that they have. I think a lot of people lose themselves in there. They're following certain politicians, and they're like, well, everything this person says, or a lot of the things that this person says, makes sense. Even if I don't necessarily agree with these other things, I'm going to now adopt these things because those other things made sense. So now, oh, well, I probably am transphobic because they want to, you know, make the economy better or something. Just an example, you know, like, they take in the bad stuff with the good stuff, and they're like, they get on board. And maybe a lot of people too are just like, that's not the way I grew up, that's not the world I was socialized or grew up in, you know, kind of thing. Which I understand and I get. I mean, that's valid, that you don't understand because your perspective, because you did not grow up with these kind of people, or personally know somebody who is trans, or, you know, in any minority group or whatever, that you cannot any longer relate to these people, and I get that, but I feel like the world would be just a much better place if, okay, I don't want to say it like that, not like narcissistically, like, if everyone was more like me, the world would be a better place, but like, the world would be a better place if more people had a similar idea like I have, that, you know, some healthy perspective, and learning how other people see the world and how it's different to your own, and trying to understand, not only just having a different perspective, understanding that other perspective to the best of their abilities, you know, and accepting those people for who they are, even though it maybe doesn't make a lot of sense to you, and at the end of the day, you know, you may not understand, but you support those people nonetheless, because they're not harming anybody. They're really actually just trying to be themselves and the best version of themselves, and you can see that they're happier, and they're worth supporting. I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's one of the most common things I heard when everybody was like, when I would tell people, about who I was, and then they saw me in my natural element. They were like, I've never seen you this happy before. And I'm like, yeah, because I've never seen me this happy before, like this, that was a good round of dodging there. I have never been this happy before, like that's the thing. Like, yep, you got me. Most of the time that's what it comes down to. It's just I felt genuinely more like myself than I ever had, and I understood myself, I understood my past, I understood why certain things were the way they were, and why I felt, weird about certain things, because those things, like, everything aligned whenever I figured out, hey, I'm trans, this is how I feel. It really all, and that's the thing, so I had those thoughts back then, right? And then later on, like a few years back, like maybe early 2022, I was, for whatever reason, I stumbled upon like some trans-related content. YouTube, they like to recommend you shit that you keep watching, and it was interesting to me because I like, again, I'm a good person, and I try to understand other people's perspectives. And I'm not saying that you can't be a good person if you don't understand other people's perspectives, but I think it'll make you a lot better person if you try to understand. And, I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, I've had these thoughts before of, like, maybe wanting, having, like, these discordant or dysphoria related feelings. I didn't really know that word back then, but dysphoria related feelings about my gender, and like I've thought that I wanted to maybe, like, if I could, I would switch before. And then I started watching these people, and the one that really got me was Matilda Hagenberg, or whatever it is, like the foreign lady. What's she, like, from Sweden or something? Oh yeah, this is a cutscene. And I know it was a beauty thing at that point. Like, really, it was. I ran across this, like, one random girl, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a trans woman. And then I went to and I started watching around, and then I watched one of her videos, and I'm like, for me, because I know it's such a shallow thing to say, but it was always about, I cannot look like a woman, and I will never pass. And I mean, this is a common, trans thing to think, like, that you'll never be able to actually exist as the gender you want to be, let alone that you would know that you were always that gender all along. Anyway, but to me, it was a beauty thing, because that's just what it was to me in my, like, male-oriented, like, perspective at the time. Again, here's the thing about perspective, right? How I was socialized and whatnot, it told me that women are beautiful, and you can't be a beautiful woman because you're a man. That's what I had in my head, and I would, and I still deal with some of this sometimes. Is like, that's why, like, when I say that I love myself, and I have genuine moments of, like, looking at myself and being like, I'm beautiful, it makes me emotional, because, like, I didn't really think this was possible, and it really is possible, and that's the beautiful thing about it, is you can entirely, you know, I mean, not entirely, you can basically, transgender is a thing, guys. Like, that's what's so beautiful about it, is like, you can transition and it can actually work out pretty good for you. You know, I don't know about like when you get like older, but like I'm already in my 30s, you know, and like when I started transitioning, I was in my 30s as well, and I thought it was too late for me. And like, you know, there's a lot of people like a lot of the content creators I watch, like Victoria Rose, who like started when she was like a teenager, and of course she looks great, you know, she looks fucking beautiful as shit. She's really good at makeup and stuff too, though, and like she has more of a style sense than me, and like, but she was on this stuff back then, and it you know, you always want to start earlier because, and I know there's a whole controversy with that. I don't mean like early, but if you know you're a trans person, if you're one of those people who knew like since you were age 3 that like, hey, I'm trans, like, you definitely like, you definitely probably want to get on some like at least puberty blockers or whatever, so that you can, which are completely safe, by the way. Everyone's like, oh, they're gonna stunt their puberty, but I mean, all it does is delay the puberty, and then until a time, I mean, it honestly shouldn't really even be necessary. It should just be like, you know, I don't know, you'd start you know, a little bit early on HRT or something. Maybe puberty blockers are necessary. I don't know the science all behind it, but what I'm saying is, at least you should be able to do that until you're like, you know, I don't know, a little bit more into your teens, and then, you know, either you're gonna realize, oh, this wasn't really what this was, or yes, I really am transgender and I need to like transition, and then you'll have the ability to do that, you know, and that's why like getting rid of all this stuff is like the worst too, like getting rid of the medications and stuff, like I just cannot agree with that, you know, having the perspective of having been here and understanding what that medication has done for me has been like great. Pretty much changed my life. Anyway, yeah, so, but to me, getting back to it, to me, you know, in my, like, male socialized, like, perspective, it was impossible for me to transition because I would never look good enough to, like, pass and then like be a woman, and then everything would be harder. Little did I know, yeah, it was going to be harder anyway, but the best part about it would just be living authentically. And little did I know there was HRT where it could help me out, and I think I did learn about that around that time, and like, I was still, you know, skeptical. I was still like, oh, really? I mean, is it gonna, what's it gonna do for me, you know? And even still, I mean, I'm not skeptical, you know, or whatever. I mean, that's maybe a bad word for it, but even still, it's like, you know, HRT, I believe in it now, obviously. I believed in it week 1 after it, like, fucking changed my entire mental, like, thing to be correct, and then I'm like, okay, like, how do I explain it? Like, it got rid of all my brain fog, and then, so now I'm, like, happy, you know? Like, it made me feel like when I was, like, a kid, again, I guess, like, you know how when you're a kid, you're, like, innocent, and you're, like, happy, or whatever? It felt a lot like that, and I don't know, I felt like I was like a person again, you know? I felt like alive. Like, I hadn't felt like that in a long, long time. I'd been so dehumanized, so desensitized to being a person. felt alive again. I don't know how else to describe it. It was really groundbreaking and transformative. I didn't know I could feel like that again. I just thought I was gonna feel dead inside for the rest of my life, and just depressed and whatever. But it worked, and it was exactly what I needed. And I'm not saying it'll do that for everybody, but like for me specifically in my situation and my perspective, it helped so much to get this. So to have that denied for people, and especially like younger people and whatnot, now that there is actually some like resource out there to know that, like, hey, yeah, that this is me, I am transgender, like that's a lot of more people can know that now, or be okay with being comfortable with that, like, and that's why there's more kids doing it now. It's not because it's like in the public eye now. I mean, maybe a little bit, but like the idea is that before it was really just everyone was hiding. Like, kids would probably know that they are, but they just like didn't want to say anything. Or like in my perspective, like I might have like little hints, but then I was just like, I'm gonna try this actually. I was socialized as a guy, so it's just like it's different for me. Nice. That was awesome. Except I'm gonna die now. Yep. Damn. So, yeah. Point being, HRT changed my life. I'm glad I'm trans, and I'm gonna stick by it for forever, basically. I'll go down with this ship, I'll do whatever. Because it's important. And I have to be an example. I have to be the most authentic version of myself, no matter what that kind of means, I guess, for me in my life. But at the same token, it just sucks because society wants to hate on me or whatever. So but like I said, and this is all the dark stuff of it, right? But like, there are a lot of great allies out there, and I think it's important to recognize that not everyone is an evil human being, and I know I'm talking about a lot of the bad ones. The reason I'm talking about this to begin with is because I've been feeling really down about it the last couple of days, because this is a volatile time in our history against trans people. This is kind of gonna be a thing for a second. We're a hot button issue. My existence is very controversial at the moment for some reason. It's a talking point. It's a talking point because people believe one way or the other. I can't wait for the next generation that is obviously more okay with this, and we already know that that's bullshit. And this is why older people, especially really old people, should not be in office, because they will not change their perspectives on these things, and it sucks. I don't know. I mean, Joe Biden seemed pretty open to it, but maybe he was always open to her. Maybe he was just so much of a puppet that, like, they fucking, told him, hey, Joe, you gotta be on board with this, the transgender stuff, because that's gonna be really good for your image. So, I wouldn't doubt it. Oh, I might make it this one. Come on, come on. Yes, no! Fuck you, Nemesis. I mean, I don't want to get into all... I mean, I already fucking got into it, basically, but, like, honestly, government's a sham at this point. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there is really some kind of patriot-like organization running it. Yeah, people say the Illuminati or whatever. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Maybe they have AIs running that shit, you know, just like in Metal Gear Solid 4. Like, Kojima was right about the internet. Like maybe he's right about that too. But, yeah, you know, I mean, I want to like the government. That just hate me, so I can't like them, you know? That's all it really comes down to. And maybe they don't hate me, like, obviously it's Trump who hates me, but, like, you know, it is what it is. Like, I just want to live my normal life, 'cause it's my life. It is, though. That Bon Jovi song is accurate to my situation. I do like that song a lot because it's very true. I just, you know, I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live my normal life. It's my life. My heart is like an open highway. Frank said I did it my way. I just wanna live my normal life. It's my life. Anyway, yeah, you know, and it is my life, and it's now or never. That really, I mean, that line especially, now or never. It's like that was a big motivator when it came to like pushing me to like be like, yes, I need to get this shit started. I wish I would have started my like birth certificate stuff a little sooner, because I was like right on the edge of like finishing it. And I'm not saying it won't get finished. I don't know. I really don't know what's gonna happen, you know. And I'm just really anxious about that, honestly. Because you know, Trump's already doing this stuff where he's like, you know, there's only 2 genders and transgender people aren't real and all this shit. So like, okay, he's coming at me. Maybe I should just try the shotgun. I don't know. I like the flamethrower, but still. Come on, why is this dodge not working? I hate it when that doesn't work. There we go. Nice. Oh, he's down. He's down. Yes. Get down, bitch. Stay down. Yeah, I don't think I'm making it out of this one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I got that out of my system, because, I wanted somebody to talk to it about, and, not that I talked to anybody about it, but, you know. It's all just been manifesting and building up inside of me. I really can't, it's just the fact that I can't do anything about it, you know? I mean, me living my most authentic life is the biggest middle finger I could put up to these guys, but like, it just isn't, it's just not gonna say anything, because I have no voice. I'm not loud, you know? I mean, I have no way of communicating this to them, and they don't care anyway. Even if I did communicate this to them, I mean, there's plenty of people doing the same thing, but I mean, maybe I'll be some part of some statistic someday that will show somebody somewhere that's important, that trans people exist, and we're just normal people, and you know, we're cool, you know, we're just trying to be our most authentic selves. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, like, it's gotta be. For some reason, this guy is probably a genuine motherfucker like that, but like, is this Trump's like true nature? I mean, the guy is true as all get, right? Like, this is just how he genuinely feels. And, like, I mean, this should show the difference between us. Like, all about perspective again. Like, his nature is very much more so, like, bad, or I don't want to call him evil, but it kind of feels like that in a lot of ways. In terms of, like, just, you know, he doesn't want certain people like myself to, like, exist, basically. So, yeah. Whereas, you know, myself, it's like, I just want to exist, you know? I'm just trying to live authentically, living correct or whatever. Nice. The shotgun's actually working pretty good. Get off me, Stars. Get off me. Don't do it, bitch. Don't do it. You let me down, bitch. No, fuck you. Yeah, give me just 1 second. I'll be right back. I gotta go now. Really, this is why I hate politics. It's just because it promotes hate rather than promoting the welfare of the people, you know? Promote the general welfare, you know? It's in the preamble or whatever. And we all learn that. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of our liberty for ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Does that not mean anything to any of you? Please, let that mean something to somebody out there. You know, I mean, I'm just a person. I just exist, you know? I just do things. You know? I don't know. I had to rant because it just bothers me, you know? It's just, it's a whole fucking thing, is what it is. I can't do anything about it, and I think that's the worst part, you know? Like, what can I do? I could rally or something. I don't think there's a lot of those around here. I don't think it would really do anything. It might get some attention or something. Shit, at some point, that might get kind of dangerous, like it did last time around. Remember the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and then, yeah, there's all the casualties of that. I mean, is it gonna be Trans Lives Matter now? I mean, I'm sure that I've seen that somewhere, but, like, we're gonna have, like, a similar movement. I mean, it just goes to show that even like with all the advancements in racism, like like or the we've gotten past a lot of the bad things of racism. Like there's still a lot of like racism out there, to the fact that we would still have to like be like Black Lives Matter. Like, yeah, of course they matter. Like, all lives matter, And I mean, I know very specifically that group was the ones who wanted or needed the that message to like really sink in with people. Is that like nice? Is that like their lives matter? But yeah, like trans lives matter too. I tell you, they do. Oh fuck! All lives matter, Like we're all humans here, and I don't. That's the thing. I mean, like when I say like all lives matter, and I don't mean to take away from the struggles of like Black people, obviously. I'll support any minority basically that isn't like some kind of like terrorist group or something, I guess. I don't know. Like minorities are people obviously, but like I'm just saying that isn't I guess I'll support like most minority. I'll support people. Can I just support people? Why do I have to support like one group? I support all groups, of people, all races and all genders and I don't like here's another good example. I don't necessarily believe I'm a very monogamous like person, just one other person I want to be with, but like there are the polyamorous people out there. I'm not into it. It makes dating profiles like really annoying because you have to like swipe past all those people. There should be a setting to turn that off, but there isn't, of course. But, like, yeah, those are people. I mean, I don't agree with what they're doing, but if it works for them and they're all happy, like, hey, okay, cool, good for you guys. Like, I don't necessarily, love it, and I don't, I wouldn't do it, but, I mean, as long as nobody's getting hurt, yeah, go for it. So, it's all good. As long as we have, 3 or whatever consenting adults that are all, like, cool with it. Yeah, absolutely. I just want people to be happy. I mean, if, relationships are already so far hard to find, like I said, like good ones especially, and then it's like finding people, let alone 2 other people that could all 3 be happy together. It's like, man, okay. I mean, that's kind of cool. I'm not, like, that's not something I would do, but it's cool that somebody, like, can do that and feel good about that. I don't know. It's a very alternative lifestyle to mine. I mean, it's very different from my perspective and my experience, and I admit that part of that is because I was raised as a Catholic, and I don't necessarily believe in that kind of lifestyle. I've always really believed that 2 partners is kind of the number, but I mean, we're in a new world, and that's, if that is something that can make people happy and it can work. I mean, I don't get it. I don't have that perspective to get it, but I understand that happiness is fleeting and rare, and you have to grab any of it that you can and try to keep it as long as you can. And that's a quote from somebody who none of you would know, and I probably, you know, probably shouldn't have been a great quote that I got from this person, but it's the one good thing I guess they left on my life. So, I mean, they were never mean to me or bad to me or anything, but anyway. So yeah, find the thing that makes you the happiest, and you hold on to that as long as you possibly can, because yeah, happiness is fleeting, you know. And yeah, I mean that's just good advice for life in general. And I think, you know, like I said, we gotta be more accepting to people, as long as they're not actively harming people. And I know that can kind of get loose in definitions and whatnot of like who's harming what. This person is against me, so they're harming me, kind of thing. Like, you know, obviously, like, my group's got a lot of animosity towards Trump. Like, yeah, because he's got power and he's, you know, corrupt with that power. He's not doing good things with said power, you know? I mean, but at the same token, I mean, he'd probably be close to anybody if I could say that, like, I hate somebody. Like, I don't try to hate people. Like, I really try to love people or accept people or, you know, be okay with everything. Nice. Haha. I knew it too. I knew exactly when. I think once I get him down and once he's getting back up, I should run away, you know? Because then he's just gonna do this shit. He's gonna get me in a loop. So yeah, I mean, we are the life of this earth, you know? We're screwing up the earth too, as well, obviously, but I mean, a lot of that could probably be corrected too if we wanted to, you know, again, coming back to capitalism. If money was not an obstacle, we could fix these things. They just don't do it because we have this system in place called money, where it's like we can't get the resources to do it. And if we're gonna have money, I think at the end of the day it needs to come down to things like medical research and fixing the planet should not require money in order to. We should just be able to throw as many resources as we need at that until we frickin' fix it. Because those things are more important than, you know, anything else. And, you know, I mean, I know that somewhere in there would be some kind of corrupt person to take advantage of a system where you don't have to necessarily pay for this or that, you know, but like I just feel like it would be better, you know, for our world, for society, if we just, you know, if money can be a thing, it just should not be as integrated into every aspect of our life as it is. You know, there should be some freaking God-given rights we have as human beings, that we have a place to sleep and a place to eat, or things to eat, not a place to eat, things to eat, you know, the things we need to survive, whether it be medicines or that kind of stuff, like that should all basically be not a monetary sort of issue. Why would that be a monetary? That doesn't make any sense. Like, we need these things to survive, so we have to pay money for them. Like, I get it, you need food to survive too, but like, I could be more okay with paying for like better food as long as they gave us like some basic sort of rationing stuff. Like I said, like, you know, maybe some like eggs and like bread and milk or something. Rice, you know, is a good one. It's like if you have a rice cooker, rice can go so far, such a long way, you know. And then you go and you get money in order to pay for stuff like, if you want maybe, let's say, a better house, or you want a better clothing, or you want a very like specific, you want, you know, I don't know, appliances or something. Maybe even electricity should be free. If they went with the whole fucking, you know, shit that they abandoned because, like, you know, money. They used to have some stuff where it was like that. Actually, I've even heard that they have like a frequency. One of the things I heard was like a frequency for curing cancer, and then one of them was like a very specific way of doing it. They just don't do it because they get so much money from chemo stuff. But realistically, at the end of the day, what they should do is just charge as much as you would charge for chemo for if you're looking to make money. Obviously, my thoughts on the situation is don't charge anybody anything for this, but just charge them like one big sum, you know, altogether to get this like cure, and then everything's fine, you know, or whatever. Like, I don't know, like, figure it out, man, because like cancer kills a lot of people, and honestly, I think they think that's a good thing, that like cancer is killing people, because like then there's less people. You know, there's a whole like conspiracy about like population control and stuff too. Like, that's a whole thing. But I don't know. I can see it. They're not gonna give us the fucking cure for cancer, especially if they have it. Like, all right, like I said, I'm gonna run. Damn it! Come on! Get up! Damn it! Fuck! I probably had to reload. Damn it! Shit! So close. Wonder how long it takes after you knock him down the first time. I mean, I feel like this is like actually just like a real other Nemesis fight. Like it'd be like it would be anywhere else in the game, you know? Like, this is gonna take a while. It's gonna take some time to take some time. Alright. Dodge. Anyway. Yeah. Well, there's my entire belief system laid out for you, and really just about transgender and stuff. I mean, I believe a lot more, like, you know, I believe a lot of stuff. I mean, I believe at some level we're all connected in some way, you know, and I think a lot of the bad stuff that's going on, you know, it comes back to us in a way, you know, like kind of like karma, but like worse in some kind of energy, and we all sort of feel it. Even the rich who think that they're in a good position, they've deluded themselves with this this fake thing that we've come up with to believe that they're, and it corrupts. It makes you evil a lot of the time, money, except for the rare few people like Mr. Beast who cycle the money and do good with the money. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. I think it's all about perspective again. It's just like, you know, he was born without money. When you have new money, I guess a lot of times, if you're not, it's really about the person. If you're not an asshole with it, or if you're not like corrupted by it, like, I know money corrupts because it's like, you know, people who haven't had money before like get money, and then they finally have it, so then they go and spend it on lavish things. But to be somewhat selfless, like Mr. Beast, to just kind of give it away to the average person and stuff, like that's big, you know, like that's I really like appreciate that about him. I used to be like the biggest Mr. Beast, like, oh, this guy, like, fuck this guy, right? Like, oh my god, I'm gonna die here, right? Yo. This fucking popular ass guy, I hate Mr. Beast or whatever. He's so popular and he's fucking stupid. No, I love Mr. Beast now. When I finally gave him a shot, just like a lot of things, you know, like Squid Games too, is like, oh, that's overrated. There's no way. When I finally gave Mr. Beast a shot and like I understood, yeah, he makes these videos for spectacle, but then he also does like the philanthropy stuff, and I'm just like, this guy is slaying it. He's doing what I would do or what I would like to think I would do if I had money, you know, and I honestly don't know what I would do. I'm just a person like everyone else, and he's on a whole other level. The generosity that he does, it's just who he is, you know? And he's like obsessed with making good videos, of course, but like that's how he makes the money to give back to people. It's so impressive. Like you know, these fucking bazillionaires like Elon Musk and stuff, they can pretend all day like they're like doing a good job and giving back, but they're not. They're giving such a small amount, excuse me, of you know, to the world, and they're not focusing on the right things. Like, going to Mars is not going to do anything for us, you know? But Elon Musk is, like, obsessed with it. And he's had, like, the initiative to get, like, better cars and stuff on the road. That's good, in a sense, you know? Like, apparently that's not... It's really the factories and stuff that are, like, making all of the waste that's, like, really killing the environment and whatnot. But like, you know, yeah, I mean, contribute how you can with the like electric cars and stuff. That's cool, but I'm not saying he's like completely awful, like, you know, but like, I don't know, he's got a lot of problems, obviously. Maybe he's misunderstood like Mr. Beast. I don't think he's quite to the level of Mr. Beast. Like, Mr. Beast is like really cool, like in terms of like, he obviously knows how to make money, but then also he knows how to get that money into the people, the hands that need it, you know? Or sometimes it's just like he's the Thanos of like giving out money, where, you know, it's just random and fair odds, or like somebody will win. Maybe he's more the Il-Nam of that, you know, but nobody dies on the way there. So he's like what Il-Nam from Squid Games like should have been, you know. Like, I really want to counter. What's the counter of how many times we fought Nemesis? It's got to be in the hundreds at this point. Hi, buddy. But yeah, me and my friend Jameson were talking about that the other day, about like Il-Nam, like. I like the guy as like an old grandpa sort of figure, but like, I mean, he liked Gi-hun a lot, and there was a lot of genuinely nice things that he did for Gi-hun. But it's also like, he is an asshole. He did start the Squid Game, you know, like, and stuff. Obviously, bad stuff, and like, he's the reason all those people are dying. But like, you know, but at the end of the day, too, like, what he should have done is something like what Mr. Beast is doing, is my point. But he really couldn't have done that back in like the 80s or whatever, when he started the Squid Game. He would have had to have just created like a charity or something. You know, and like, I know it's a bit like, maybe it's not controversial to say, but I think the fact that Mr. Beast is a video creator and his giving, you know, and he doesn't record everything, there's so many that he hasn't done, but like, his giving is so generous anyway, you know, like, from what he's even just showing us. I think that does help to perpetuate, like, you know, you can give to a foundation or whatever and feel nice about it, and you're like, oh, that was a good thing, but you don't get to see the goodness of your efforts, you know. You see oh, what the fuck? No, I thought I did the shotgun. You know, you see that it maybe helped somebody or whatever, like, you know, they'll send you a picture in the mail. But, like, with Mr. Beast, you see, like, hey, you know, my money contributed towards, helping, you know, these people get their fucking walking or new eyes or whatever, you know, all these crazy videos he's been doing. Okay, now we're gonna reload when he's down. Oh, come on. Fuck off with that. And I'm not saying Mr. Beast is like a savior or anything, you know, he's not Jesus Christ, but he's got the spirit of Jesus Christ, you know, I mean, like, he's not religious probably, but he definitely is doing, like, what Jesus said you should do. You know that whole, like, thing where Jesus is like, you give all of your money to me, and I will give you that money back, like, you know, 300-fold? That is Mr. Beast to, like a fucking nutshell right there, you know? Because, like, he's not literally giving his money to, like, a church or something, but he's giving it to places where, you know, maybe instances where, like, Jesus would have, like, helped people, you know? And I think that's cool. And I'm not, you know, obviously these are two separate concepts here, but he is doing, like, what a lot of people could be doing, you know, that are, like, these billionaires or whatever, or even, like, the trillionaires, like, should be doing, which they're not. So good on him. I really like him for making a difference, you know? I mean, he's doing what he can do, and maybe he could do more, I don't know, but from what I understand, from what I have heard, he's a genuine guy just trying to fucking make shit happen, you know, out there in the world. And if more people were out there, more elites were out there like Mr. Beast. I mean, I think that's the saddest part of, like, Squid Game, is really that these VIPs aren't just trying to help the world, you know? I've seen so many theories, not theories, but, like, little things, like, in theory videos or whatever, too, that are, like, even my friends have said it, like, he should just give his money to all the people that are playing the second Squid Game with them. And it's like, dudes, like, why doesn't the VIPs just do the same thing? Like, they shouldn't have to be playing the Squid Game. This should be like, oh, I see you're down on your luck, like, let's get you a fucking, let's fix that, man. Like, let's do better as a society to fix that. Let's have some money, you know? I mean, it's not necessarily going to fix your problem, as the bread and lottery episode kind of shows, but, you know, I don't know, maybe set them up with a house or something. Do my idea, you know? Do my idea of, like, when these people are, like, really down on their luck, give them a place to stay, food to eat, some clothes on their back, get them off their feet again. Even that's not going to cost that much, you know, for you, these zillionaires, who are, like, betting on these games. And you know, I mean, obviously the message is that they're corrupt fucking people, but, you know, and like, they maybe don't get joy from doing stuff like that, but, like, they should. But that's the problem. Whenever you get money, you basically, unless you're Mr. Beast, you become fucking, you know, and I'm sure, like, a lot of people who have money and give it away aren't, like, recognized for that, and that's why my brain is saying that society doesn't do enough and these elites don't do enough to help people is because we're talking about like the top people who give like, you know, some money to these things of their money, but like there's probably a lot of people out there that we're not hearing about too, because you don't ever hear about the good things. You hear about the bad things in society, you know, because they don't tell us about the good things because they want us to be scared and they want us to feel like hopeless and like we are right now, you know. And especially I think they think you know, at least Trump and whatever thinks like that this is gonna scare us into not existing, like transgender people and stuff. I mean, obviously we were talking about like poor people and stuff before, but in that case, I'm just saying, like, the elites who have money should, you know, if you have the power to take action, you should use the responsibility to take it. You have the responsibility to take action or whatever. It's like a national treasure line. It's also, with great power comes great responsibility. You know, if you fucking, you know, if you have money, you need to use that money in order to help people. If you have, you know, if you have the wealth that should be able to help people, and you have a comfortable enough living, you know, you need to invest that. You know, that's like where people are making investments into companies and stuff. That should all be going to like fixing the world, like, or the investments into companies should only ever be so that like there should be some kind of incentive there, like that money that you give to that company then can also go to people in need or something like that, you know. Like the like, you know, for every dollar you donate, we're gonna donate $1 to like homeless people or something, like, you know, like, I don't know. I know the world isn't altruistic like that. Altruistic? You know which word I'm trying to say. And that's the sad part, is that like I don't know that we're ever gonna get to that point, you know, to where we can altruistic. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a few more attempts, but I've mainly said what I wanted to say. 3 hours of like really cathartic venting has been nice. And I feel like I am gonna put this up. I mean, nobody's gonna probably watch it, but I do. This is like a really good breakdown of like everything I believe, you know. It might just even be good for me to have for like me personally, so and, you know, it's valid too. This is how I was feeling in this moment right now at the beginning of the fucking second Trump administration. Also, he did that thing now where he's trying to make it so that you can, and I don't know if this is a thing now, maybe it is just a thing, but you can have like a third like term or in office or something. And like, how is this not something that like everybody would have to vote on, right? Like, first of all, like, we're in a democracy, right? Like, shouldn't that mean that's already a flawed system, because that should mean that we vote on these things as a society. We should vote on these things. It shouldn't just be the president, like the legislation or whatever, who's voting on this stuff. We should be voting on this stuff. Is that a thing? Am I voting on like whether or not trans people like get to, you know, fucking exist or whatnot? Because that's how it should be. You know that Squid Game 2 vote where you vote yes or no every single fucking time? That should be for every law. We should get to vote as a people. You guys ever play RuneScape? You know how in RuneScape they run everything by the player base, by the society? I mean, it kind of sucks because some things get like taken away. But if you did this on a societal level, and you definitely, like, there could be people lobbying to get some of this shit I've been talking about done, and like, not only would we vote for the people who go into office to fix these things, because that sucks. That's a terrible system, because those people are always going to be corrupt. Not necessarily that all people are corrupt or whatever. I'm just saying people are... One person in a position is a terrible thing, because, we don't have any power at the personal level. That's my problem. That's the entirety of this situation. That's what I'm sad about and like really depressed about. I don't have the power to vote against this or do anything. Even if I had voted for, Kamala, doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter, because Trump won by a landslide. My one vote wouldn't have counted. But what my one vote could count towards is, like, we have a system where all these laws are run by us first. The world, the society that we live in, it's run by us. We get to vote on each one of these things every single time. And I know it would be hard to organize, or maybe we could just do it by, like, a state thing, or, like, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of that gets corrupted anyway. There's, like, voting fraud and stuff. Like, it's already hard enough to get people to go and vote. But I'm just saying, I would feel a lot better about voting for anything if I knew that at every law, Trump can't just go all of the sudden and be like, oh, well, trans people don't exist now, and we don't acknowledge that, and you can have 3 terms now. Yeah, that's fine. Why didn't he do that last time? Because he didn't need to, because he wasn't in his 2nd term yet. But, like, fuck that shit. No, that's some bullshit. You can't just do that, right? We as a society should be able to vote on the fact that's what a real democracy is. It's not that we get to vote on who the fuck's in office, because none of that shit matters. What matters is that we get to vote on the stuff that actually matters, these laws that they're passing. So that at least the trans people and allies can be like, hey, fuck you, you're passing that law. No, you're not. Or at least should get run by a different committee. I mean, that's how it's supposed to work, right? They can't just enforce this right away, right? I need to know, because what is with this? Like these are executive orders, so how does that work? Somebody else has to pass that, right? He can't just be like, oh, I'm the president, I get to say these insane fucking things that are gonna get, like, that are gonna get passed, that are, like, meme-worthy joke levels of like, terrible, like, and corrupt. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. We should be able to vote. Like, why don't I have any vote on any of this? And don't just tell me, oh, just because you didn't vote, like, for the person. The person is a shithead, no matter who you get in that office. I don't give a shit about them. What I give a shit about is voting on these laws, and that's what I want to be voting on. That's what matters at the end of the day, is me voting on these fucking laws, not the idiot who's gonna be in charge, because that fucking is that's just a show. It's just a show for power. That's a popularity fucking contest. That's student body president shit. Don't they, like, in school still, like, if they're gonna make changes, they have, like, a committee to, like, fucking be like, oh yeah, that's not happening, or like, oh yeah, cool, that sounds like a good change. Like, they have the student body president, sure, but, there's more than just that. Like, it's like committees and shit. Like, that has to be a thing. Like, how would we, like, not have that as, like, a society? It doesn't make any sense. Democracy's dead if that's the case. Like, if it's just, the fucking president able to do whatever the fuck they want. Like, that's a dictatorship at that point. You know, it's not democracy. Democracy is the people voting. We run the government. That's how it's supposed to be. The people are running the government. But we can't do that because there's, you know, I mean, like even Trixie said it. She's like, there should be like a diverse amount of people, like one of every people basically in the government to kind of all give a perspective. And I definitely kind of agree with that. I mean, that's what I've been saying this whole fucking time, is that like we need some kind of system where the people are represented, you know, and not only just like groups are represented, like our people all feel represented. Like I want at least a shot, you know. I want us to be able to vote on these issues because I want to like be able to be like, hey Trump, fuck you, you know, this is a terrible idea. Like I want to be able to vote on a thing that says, so it shows him that the population at large does not agree with this, you know? And they can skew and corrupt those results, and I get that, I understand that. But in a fair world, what we would be doing was we would all be taking a vote on whether or not this is okay, you know? Anybody of legal voting age, which is 18, right? I'm pretty sure, unless they've changed that fucking shit too, should be able to vote on these issues. And I think that would really give us the people, we the people, remember that shit, we the people, and you know, the preamble and all that. It would really give us more of a sense of like, hey, we're actually, you know, we're good. We're making these decisions. Like, you know, maybe my thing didn't pass, you know, like, or whatever. Like, maybe, but I at least used my vote against it, you know? And that's what I really think we should have as a society. That would be my ideal system, is a system, a democracy where all of the people who are eligible to vote would vote on these policies and stuff, you know, because at this time right now, as far as I can tell, all that like really comes down to is we put people in like the local government or like, you know, like state government. God damn it, I did that again. You know, like we can get officials in there that can like maybe make a fucking difference, but like they won't, because Trump's an asshole. So like, I want to be able to vote, you know, for everything, like all of the different laws and legislations or whatever. I want to be able to look at that and have the option to be able to vote as a, you know, as a public. Why is the public not represented in this? We make up the majority of the people. You want to talk about minorities? The minority is that there's one president and like 100 people maybe or something or less. I don't know. On the, you know, like the judicial branch and the legislative branch or whatever. Congress, right? That's one of them. The executive branch and the legislative branch or judicial branch. I think it's judicial branch. Go back to like 5th grade government here. Like, is any of my input as a person right now, like, is any of that like getting considered anywhere in the higher up government? No, it's not, because even if I like vote for something on a local level, like that's, I mean, like, is there local level voting for shit like this? There should be. Where is my say in this? That's what I want. I don't understand why we're not more involved as a society in this. Like how does that make any sense? We have like such a small amount of people making these decisions based on what? Based on their beliefs, right? Based on like, and they're all crusty old people too, and they're not like a good amount of diversity. We need a system where the fucking people of America or anywhere else, you know, I mean, like, not to vote for America, but I'm just saying, like, this should be a system everywhere, or like wherever they want to use this system. Like, oh fucking Jesus, do you see that shit? Nice. Oh, I'm gonna die here though. We should be able to, you know, vote for this stuff. Like, every decision that gets made should go through us, you know? Make a fourth branch, make the people branch, the public branch, you know, or something. Maybe I'm an idiot, maybe this exists, but then I feel like if this existed, why the fuck would we be complaining? I mean, we would be complaining about Trump and his shit, but we would keep Trump and his shit in check as a society. The societal branch. I want that shit. Get that shit in fucking government. I'm gonna go become president. I went and put all my money to run for president of the United States. I'm gonna be the next Mr. Beast, by the way. So put that shit in there. I'm gonna get a fucking public branch in there, and then I'm gonna let people decide what the fuck goes into place. We're gonna workshop ideas, and then we're gonna run them by the people, and then the people will get to decide. Vote for Emily Zeroslik for fucking 2077. I don't fucking know. That's not even a real thing, but I'm not gonna still probably be alive by then, will I? No, probably not. Anyway, maybe. Yeah, I'd only be like 78. Or wait, plus 7, so like 85. I might be alive by then. But then I wouldn't be eligible for president under my my way. So maybe more like 2040 or something. In 2040 or whatever, 2040, is that right? Yeah, that'd be right, because every 4 years. So 2040, I will run for president. This will be after the Trixie administration, you know. I'll be the new president. I'll make a public branch for the public to vote on issues that affect us, because all of this shit affects us. So we should have some say in it. It just makes sense. I don't understand why this isn't a fucking thing. And then I'll make it more like the president and the obviously I'll give rights back to transgender people if that's not a thing already. I'll make it so that like the president and like the other branches are more of like the idea guys. Like we're the top. We're basically the CEO and all of that of the company, you know. So it's not like we do run the country, but we also want to take in player feedback, you know, like in a video game setting, it would be player feedback. So we're taking in that feedback because it's important to us, and we're taking that into consideration, even if we want to put out, you know, stuff that's like controversial and whatnot. So like it can just be vetoed by the public, you know, or at least we'll get a vote on it. That's what I want. I want it to matter somehow. Our vote should matter towards these laws. Like, why is that not a thing, you know? I don't know. That's my plan to save the world. We need let's wrap this all up nicely, right? We need to accept each other more. We need to stop hating so much, and we need to come together as a country rather than being so divided as a country over things like religion and transgender and race and whatnot. And I think that all of those things shouldn't divide us. Rather, we should understand that those things come from a differing perspective of the world, and therefore, we need to learn to accept that there are other perspectives of the world that we're not actively experiencing in our lives, and we need to have that come into play somehow in our political system. And that would be easy to account for if we were allowing us all to vote on these issues. But we're not allowed to vote on these issues. Why aren't we allowed to vote on these issues? That's stupid. It's really stupid. We should have a say in this. The public should have a say in this. We shouldn't have to be loud, vocal, people like trying to rally and stuff. I mean, that's all important too. But we need to have some kind of system where we can vote for this stuff. So we need to not hate. We need to accept each other and our differing perspectives on life, and not start wars over religion and stuff, even though it's very important to all of us, and I understand that. And but it's important that we all understand that we all have different views on what is real and what we believe in, not what is real, what we believe in, and we're not gonna agree on that, and that's fine. Don't all of our religions and stuff say that we need to make peace and whatnot? That's the idea, and that's what it all comes down to, and that's what I want. And I want us to have a say in this, and I want it to be more recognized that, like, trans people exist, and they want a good life too. That's as easy as all this is. And all that other stuff I said in there. It's been exhausting, but hey. Yeah, this was a fucking stream, was it not? Holy shit. What a crazy taxi. What a crazy stream. That was a good belief political dump. I dumped my history of being transgender. I dumped a lot of personal data in there, personal data. No, not personal data. Personal stories in there, anecdotes about my history as a trans person, and a lot of personal stuff in there. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff going on in there. A lot of good stuff, But if you did watch this, I appreciate it, and you don't necessarily, like I say, you don't have to agree with my opinions. I'm just saying that, I think this is how things work, and I know this is a very simplistic way of it. There's a lot of problems. Oh, capitalism. That we gotta fix that as well. People should have the basic shit. A place to shit. That would be good. A place to shit, a place to sleep, a place to eat things, and food to eat should all be basic rights of a human being. Maybe electricity too. And then if you want all the extra stuff, that's where capitalism comes in, Capitalism should not control medicine, and it should not control us trying to save the earth, and then also, honestly, it shouldn't control, these basic things, like I'm saying. That would reduce homelessness. I mean, that should eliminate homelessness, in theory, if this was to be implemented, so. So vote for me, 2040. I'm just joking. I'm not actually running because that would be so fucking... I hate politics, but, I hope somebody runs with a lot of these kind of values and morals in their heart, because, yeah. So, yeah. Until next time, follow, stick around, subscribe, and like the YouTube channel, and then follow here on Twitch to hear more of my crazy opinions. I mean, they're not crazy, but you know, my political views and whatever. I mean, you got the whole gist of it there. That was basically everything I have to kind of say. I mean, there's some more nuances and stuff we could talk about, but you know, I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot more to say as time goes on. So stick around. It's definitely, there's probably, I could make more like this. I could make more like this. So until next time, Emily, or keep it classic, stick around for more reviews on underrated games. Emily, out.